A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. During these Thanksgiving holidays, we know that you're taking extra care to make sure that each meal is a success. But it's no problem to serve an outstanding meal anytime when you serve Kroger Quality Beef. Yes, just serve Kroger Quality Beef, and you'll find your meal has plenty of eye appeal and taste appeal for that family of yours. And when you visit your nearest Kroger store and buy Kroger Quality Beef, buy it with confidence, for it's the very best beef you can get right now. It's delicious, it's tender, it's juicy, and it's bound to be a wonderful treat for you and your family. Watch how delighted your folks are when they see what's on the menu, for beef is almost everybody's favorite meat. Yes, lady, you can be sure of delighting everybody when you serve your family's favorite cut of Kroger's Quality Beef. Visit your Kroger store, step up to the counter, and ask for Kroger Quality Beef the way you like it best. And remember this, Kroger Quality Beef is the best beef you can get right now. Buy Kroger Quality Beef with confidence at your neighborhood Kroger store. And now, Hearts in Harmony. When Professor Rogers found evidence that Suzanne Gibbs was probably hiding in New York, her husband Pat went to New York to search for her. He'd been looking for almost a week now without result. And now he's home again, reporting his failure to his sister, Penny.
First day in New York, I thought I had a good lead, Penny. In fact, I thought I saw her walking down the street.
But it wasn't Suzanne, of course, was it?
I don't know. I lost her in the crowd. Oh, it probably wasn't Suzanne at that. But it certainly looked an awful lot like her. You know, New York's far different from Rossville, Penny. Down there, people don't know other people's businesses. In fact, you can live in an apartment in New York for 10 years and not know the people in the apartment across the hall.
I know it seems strange, doesn't it? Here in Rossville, we know a lot of people who live even on the other side of town.
Mm-hmm. Except the snobs over in the Glen Cove section. Who knows them, or who wants to know them?
We know the Dodgers now.
Are you kidding?
Well, we know Madeline Dodge.
Huh? You on the level?
Yeah. She was here twice. Once for the evening, and once just to drop in and say hello.
Hey, you're serious. But how'd you get to know her?
Freddie Lang introduced it.
Freddie Lang? Oh, now wait a minute.
It's the truth. He met her accidentally.
Oh.
But not by accident. He's living at the Dodge mansion now.
Freddie isn't living here anymore?
No, Freddie isn't living here anymore. But I'm keeping his room for him. I expect him back one of these days.
Oh, I wouldn't have him back if he walked out on me for one of the Dodge family. Well, old man Balfour Dodge is the meanest man in this state.
But his daughter Madeline is one of the loveliest girls in the country.
Well, with her kind of money, even I could be beautiful.
Oh, Pat, you're terrible.
Well, I'm also serious. You get Freddie away from that money-mad mob before they make a sap out of him. Kid's doing all right, but they'll ruin him.
I know it. That's my only worry.
Well, look, don't you worry about Freddie. You spend enough time on him. Get Stuart Rogers after him. After all, Freddie's his nephew.
You don't know half of what's happened since you've been away. You'll never guess where Professor Rogers is tonight.
Well, if he's where he is almost every other night, he's in some smelly laboratory at the university.
Prepare yourself for a shock. Right now, he's dining with Madeline Dodge.
What?
Oh, Pat, you should see the look on your face.
The professor's at the Dodges, too?
Dining in splendor with a beautiful Madeline.
Well.
Yep, I imagine she's wearing something quite fetching, too.
What do you know? Hey, what's happened since I've been away? Has everybody deserted you?
Oh, I haven't been deserted.
Heck, you haven't. I go away for a few days, and Freddie moves out, and now Professor Rogers has a date with Madeline Dodge.
Well, you had a reason to go away, Pat. I had no right to keep Freddie here and Professor Rogers.
Oh.
Well, as far as he's concerned...
That's where it hurts, huh, sis?
No, it doesn't hurt. In fact, if you must know, I was the one who insisted that he accept Miss Dodge's invitation. He didn't want to go.
You mean he said he didn't want to go?
No, I don't think he did want to.
Did you have a hard time talking him into it?
Well, no.
Then
But-
he wanted to go, sis. Jim, sorry. You sort of like that guy, don't you?
Don't you?
Sure, but I mean...
If you mean I'm in love with him, you're wrong. I don't love him. But I do think if he left Rossville and didn't come back, I'd miss him.
But plenty, huh?
I don't know how much. I know I'd miss him. Oh, Pat, there's something about him that's sort of taken hold of me.
Oh.
No, it's not love. Believe me, it isn't. I just don't think Professor Rogers is the kind of a man a girl falls in love with. Instead, she looks up to him, respects and admires him. He becomes a sort of idol or ideal or something like that. Well,
I think I get it, sis. You hate to see someone like Stewart turn out to be just an ordinary man.
I guess that's it.
Well, it's a funny thing, Penny. This upset with Suzanne must have knocked some sense into my head or something like sense. I'm getting a lot older and a lot wiser, too, I think. I'm beginning to wonder about people, not trust them as much as I used to. And I'm beginning to think it's wrong to put too much faith in anybody. All you do is get hurt.
Oh, maybe that's smart, Pat. Maybe you shouldn't trust people. Some people. Maybe you shouldn't have faith in anyone. But I do. Yep, I have faith in several people. And I'm going to keep it.
You're going to keep your faith in the professor?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're no dummy, so I won't argue with you. But don't go overboard for the guy, Penny.
Pat, I never will. He does not affect me that way.
But he does have an effect on you, Penny. And that's enough to worry about right there.
Maybe. But for some reason or other, his being with Madeline Dodge tonight doesn't worry me.
Well, it burns me up. I'd give anything to know what they're talking about. Yes, by golly, I'd give anything to know what they're saying to each other. I'll bet it's great.
That's enough, Miss Dodge.
Oh? You're not a coffee drinker, Professor Rogers.
Oh, yes, I love it. But I think I've had enough this evening. That dinner didn't leave much room.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it.
I certainly did.
I'm glad. Cream.
Please.
Here you are. Sugar?
1 lump.
1 lump. There.
Thank you.
Comfortable, Professor?
Quite, thank you.
And do you have to sit on the edge of that sofa? Makes you look uncomfortable.
Well, if I settled back, Miss Dodge, I'm afraid I'd go to sleep.
Oh, in such pleasant company.
In such pleasant company. That's why I don't dare settle back.
All right. I'll forgive you for looking awkward.
Awkward?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to do that. Here, I'll sit back. There. Is this better?
Much. But you'll go to sleep, won't you?
I'll do my best not to.
Oh, then I'm sure you won't. Professor,
Hmm?
I understand you're a chemist.
Yes. Who told you that?
You did.
Oh.
At Penny Gibbs' house the other evening. Oh, don't tell me you've forgotten our conversation.
Oh, no, of course not. Well, that's right. I think I told you a lot about myself that evening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bore you.
Oh, but you didn't bore me. In fact, I asked you up tonight hoping you'd continue where you left off.
Where did I leave off?
You were just starting to tell me about an experiment you were conducting.
Oh, yes, the expensive one.
Mm-hmm, the expensive one. How's it going?
Not too well, Miss Dodge. In fact, I've been forced to set it aside for the time being.
Oh, that's too bad. Why?
The university doesn't have the necessary funds.
Oh, what a shame.
Yes, it is too bad.
Well, I think it's terrible they'd let you start a thing like that unless they knew they had the money to let you finish it.
Well, that's not the university's fault, Miss Dodge. They were promised an endowment by a certain time. It hasn't come through yet.
Oh, that's a pity. Well, when will you get the money?
I don't know. The board of directors says it might be weeks, or maybe years. The family of the man who left the endowment are contesting the will.
Wouldn't you know it?
Mm.
Some people will do anything for money, won't they?
I don't know. I've never known anyone with money.
You know me, I have money. They tell me it's millions.
Oh, you don't act as if you have money, Miss Dodge.
Why, thank you, Professor. That's the nicest thing you've said to me all evening. Will it be the first of many nice things?
I don't know what you mean.
Skip it.
Skip it?
Mm-hmm.
You're showing the influence of Freddie Lang already.
Am I?
That's skip it. He wants you to skip everything.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
No?
No.
By the way, where is Freddie tonight? I thought he'd be at dinner with us. I didn't want to ask, though.
Freddie was invited to the Forbes tonight.
The Forbes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who are they?
Those very wealthy boys on Evelyn Road. To tell you the truth... Oh, you don't mind being told the truth, do you, Professor?
No. No, in fact, I rather like it.
I thought you did.
Huh?
Well, I hope you like this, too. You see, I asked Mrs. Forbes to invite Freddie over there for dinner tonight.
Uh-huh.
I wanted us to be... Well, I just thought we'd get better acquainted without Freddie here.
Oh. Oh, I see.
It was a little forward of me, wasn't it?
Well, if you don't mind being told the truth, Miss Dodge...
No, I can take it.
Well, then, I'm flattered.
Not angry.
No. All right.
All right. It's perfect. But it is a surprise.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why?
Why? Oh, you seem so mild, so quiet, even shy. Frankly, I was afraid I'd even frighten you.
Oh. Well, I think you're harmless enough.
Am I? Well, I've never been accused of that before.
Well, I'm not Freddie Lang, Miss Dodge.
No, you're definitely not Freddie Lang, Professor Rogers. In fact, you're quite unlike anyone I've ever known before.
Perhaps that's just as well.
Oh? You mean it makes this meeting more exciting?
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, but it can be taken that way, can't it?
Well, I gather it has been, hasn't it?
Do you mind?
Would it make any difference if I did?
You're sitting back rather relaxed, Professor. You going to sleep?
No, I'm not.
You're wide awake.
I seem to be.
How about some more coffee?
No, thanks.
More talk?
Yes,
About chemistry?
if you'd like.
About me?
I think we'll find that more interesting than chemistry.
I will. Will you?
I talk about chemistry every day, Miss Dodge.
Madeline.
Madeline.
Stuart. Stuart, is that right?
In some circles, they call me Stuart.
Is this one of those circles?
I have an idea it is.
Oh. I like your idea, Stuart. We'll have to be together like this more often.
Well, is this the beginning of a romance between Madeline Dodge and Professor Rogers? If it is, what will Freddie Lang do? And what will Penny Gibbs have to say? Is this the beginning of more unhappiness for her? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. There are just no two ways about it. A dinner featuring Kroger quality beef is bound to give your family a world of pleasure. Yes, there's just no doubt about it, because Kroger quality beef is packed with plenty of downright delicious eating enjoyment. It's filled with tasty goodness and tenderness, and brimming with flavory rich juice. That's because Kroger quality beef is carefully selected from the very best beef available on the market today. And here's something else to keep in mind. Not only is Kroger quality beef the very best beef you can get right now, but you're getting it at a mighty thrifty price. So make a visit soon to your Kroger store, step up to the counter, and order a steak or roast of delicious Kroger quality beef. And remember, the only place you can buy it is at your Kroger store. Get some soon. Now, your local announcer.
X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire.
Tonight, George Lefferts' original radio drama of the 21st century, Perigis' Wonderful Dolls.
The Doll Shop,
stood on a quiet Washington side street, not too far from the sprawling Pentagon building. A woman and a child waited outside, the little girl peering eagerly through the window at the dolls inside, and the woman glancing impatiently at her wristwatch, as if expecting someone who was late for an appointment. And there was nothing about the doll shop to warn them that they were waiting to keep an appointment with doom.
Oh, Mommy, look.
Yes, what is it, dear?
In the window of the shop, the tiny dolls. Oh, Mommy, do you think Daddy will buy me one?
Well, we'll ask him when he comes, dear. He said 3 o'clock on this corner.
I see him, Mommy. There he is.
Oh, Henry, here we are.
Hello, dear.
Hi.
Sorry I'm late.
Well, we've been waiting for you. Cindy's been
Yes, I'm afraid I'll have to call off the shopping, Alma.
Oh, Henry, we promised.
Yes, I know. I'm
Cindy.
sorry. It's just one of those things. You've been the wife of an Army colonel long enough to know his life isn't his own.
What is it this time?
Oh, some more of that flying sphere nonsense. The pilot who says he sighted it last month crashed and was killed today, so the general wants a full report.
Dear, what next?
Daddy.
We'll have a staff meeting at the Pentagon at 3:15.
Daddy, look in this window.
Oh, I haven't time, dear.
Just for a minute, Daddy, please.
Indeed. I haven't time to stop and watch a bunch of 6-inch dolls parading around in the shop. Say, they are lifelike, aren't they? Look at that, Alma. Dolls are marching around like a regular review. They've even got their own little band.
Henry, your staff meeting.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. Yes, I've got to run. Now, look, don't go spending a lot of money on that nonsense, Alma.
No, dear.
Bye.
Bye, dear.
Bye, Cindy.
Bye, Daddy. Oh, Mommy, look. Look, the band's going to play.
Aren't they wonderful, honey? You know, it's funny. I must have stood on this corner 1,000 times, and I've never even noticed this shop before.
Good evening, children.
Oh, well, good evening.
Mommy, he talks awful funny.
Hush, Cindy.
Would you like to step inside the shop of Santor Perigis?
Well, yes, we would.
This way.
Oh, Mommy, it's like band.
Here in the shop of Santor Perigi, creator of Perigis Universal, wonderful dolls, the world of adult reality is blended with the world of child's fantasy.
This is a new shop, isn't it, Mr. Perigis?
What is new and what is old? Come, this way. Would you like to meet one of my little ones?
Oh, yes.
This one in the red jacket is Toto. Speak, little one.
How do you do? How do you do?
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Mommy, he talks. The dolls talk.
Amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
That is nothing for Perigi's wonderful dolls. Listen, sing, Toto. Sing for the little girl.
My name is Toto.
Cindy, listen.
Sing, Toto.
Men are big and tall. Dolls are very small. When men begin to fall, the dolls will rule them all.
Oh, more! Well, how do they work, Mr. Perigis?
How do they work? That is the secret of the great Perigi, greatest of all doll masters. To make an ordinary doll is nothing. To make a perfect replica, that is something. But to make a doll with intelligence, that is the work of an artist, huh?
Well, yes. Well, they must be very expensive.
Madame, when I construct a doll like Toto, I cannot bear to be parted from him permanently. So instead of selling, I rent my little people.
You rent dolls?
Precisely. $10. I have but one request. When you grow tired of my dolls, you must return them to me in good condition.
Oh, Mommy, could we take him home?
Take him home. Take him home. Take him home.
Oh, look, Mommy, look. He's bowing and dancing. Oh, Mommy, he wants to come. Please, I'll take such good care of it, please.
Well, honey, we'll have to deal with your father later, but... Well...
Oh, Mommy!
All right, wrap him up, Mr. Perigi. Oh, dear, I have a feeling when your father comes home, we'll be sorry.
Be sorry. Be sorry. Be sorry. Be sorry.
Now, Toto, my room, and you're going to sleep right here next to my pillow. Oh, Toto, don't laugh like that. I'm going to have to teach you some manners. You be quiet, because my daddy will be home soon, and he's a colonel in the army, and he'll bust you to private if you don't behave. Now, you wait here. I'm going to introduce you to my puppy dog, Mr. Blister. Be good now. Here, Blister. Here, Blister. Come on, Blister. Mr. Blister, now this is Toto. Oh, dear, I don't think Mr. Blister likes you too. Stop it, Mr. Blister. Come over here and shake hands with Toto, Mr. Blister. Come on now. Let go!
Cindy, Mr. Blister, come over here. Why, what happened, dear?
Mr. Blister tried to bite my doll. Look how frightened Toto is.
Dolls don't get frightened, Cindy.
But he is, Mommy. He screamed.
You just imagined it, honey.
But he did.
Well, Mr. Blister didn't mean it. You know he's the gentlest little pup alive.
He isn't. He's nasty and I hate him.
Cindy, you hurt his feelings.
He tried to buy my new doll, and I don't ever want to see him again, ever.
Oh, dear. All right, Mr. Blister, you come downstairs with me. Come on now. Cindy's angry at you tonight.
I'll kill him.
Why, Cindy, where did you hear a thing like that?
Toto said it.
Well, I see. Well, you've had an exciting day, honey. You brush your teeth now and go to bed. Daddy's coming home late, so we'll see you in the morning. Hmm? Good night, darling. Sleep well.
I hate him, Mr. Toto. I hate him.
Morning, Alma. Breakfast ready?
Just a minute. How was the staff meeting last night, dear?
Oh, horrible bore as usual. Where's the little one?
Up in her room. She'll be down in a minute.
Oh, say, remind me to take some papers back to the War Department, will you? I left them in my strong box.
Henry,
Hmm?
you told me it was against regulations to bring secret papers home.
Well, I had to finish some work for the old man. Nobody will ever know the difference.
Well, I suppose not.
Oh, dear, would you feed the puppy before we sit down? His bowl's under the sink.
Where is he? That's funny. Here's his supper from last night, only half eaten.
He's getting fussy.
Blister? Here, Blister. Blister! Where the dickens is that mutt?
Maybe he's on the back porch.
Maybe. Here, Blister. Here, Blister. Alma.
Hmm? What is it, dear?
Alma, look.
Why, Henry. Is he...
Yes, he's dead.
But how? What happened?
From the looks of it, he might have been poisoned.
Poisoned? Who on earth would do a thing like that to an innocent little pup?
I don't know. Let's see his dish.
Oh, Henry.
I don't understand this at all. Say, what's this?
What's what?
Well, look, there are pieces of broken glass in his food. Blue glass.
Glass? Glass. Henry.
Huh?
Well, I just remembered something.
What?
It may just be coincidence, but in the bathroom this morning...
What about the bathroom?
Cindy's blue glass, you know, the one with the Mickey Mouse on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was broken, Henry. I found pieces in the wastebasket. I meant to ask her about it.
Oh, Alma, for heaven's sake, you aren't suggesting that our little girl... Why, she loved Blister more than anyone.
Not last night, she didn't.
Why not?
Well, he went after Toto.
Well, who's Toto?
Oh, her new doll.
You bought her one of those dolls?
Well, I just rented it.
Rented it?
Yes.
Look, Alma,
Oh, no.
Oh, well, all right. Well, what's this got to do with Blister?
He went for the doll, and Cindy... Well, Cindy said... Henry, she said she'd kill him.
What? Well, that's ridiculous.
True.
Good heavens, a 9-year-old child putting ground glass and dog food? She'd have to be a monster.
Mommy.
Now, don't say anything. I'll talk to her.
Good morning, dear.
Morning, Mommy.
Morning.
Daddy.
Hello.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Cindy, sit down, dear.
Yes, sir.
Cindy, your mother tells me you broke your blue drinking glass.
Oh, no, I didn't break it.
Now, Cindy...
I didn't.
Well, now, somebody broke it. It wasn't your mother, and it wasn't me.
Well, then it must have been Toto.
Cynthia.
Cindy, you know Toto was only a doll. Now, a doll couldn't have broken your glass, could he? Well?
But he must have done it, Daddy.
Cindy, you know how Daddy feels about little girls who tell untruths. I'd hate to think you'd done something you knew was wrong, and you were blaming it on a doll.
What's the matter with Mr. Blister? Is he sick?
He's dead, Cindy.
Oh, no, he can't be dead. He isn't dead, Daddy. No, he isn't. He isn't. Mommy,
Yes, dear.
but he'll come back. He has to come back.
No, he won't come back, honey.
Not ever.
No, Cindy, not ever.
Now that we've told you, Cindy, you want to change your mind about the glass?
Henry, let her alone.
Daddy, you think I killed him?
I see what you've done. The child feels guilty enough, Henry.
Oh, dear, this is no time for feelings to interfere.
Feelings don't know any time, Henry. When they come, they just come. You go up to your room, honey. Daddy and I'll be up in just a minute.
I don't want to.
Please, Cindy. We'll be right up. Please? There, that's a good girl. And close the kitchen door behind you.
He isn't coming back. Ever. Daddy thinks it was me, but it was you. It was you!
You're listening to NBC Radio's award-winning science fiction series, X-1. Now we return to X-1 and Perigis' Wonderful Dolls.
Eat your supper, dear.
I'm not hungry.
Cindy, you scarcely touched your lunch.
I don't feel like eating.
Is it Mr. Blister?
Oh, Mama.
Cindy, answer your mother.
Oh, Henry, she'll work it out in her own way, dear.
Oh, I don't know. When I was a boy, there was such a thing as discipline. Where this child is being brought up...
Henry.
Well, it's true. There's no respect. Lying. Oh, I don't know. Alma, what's happened to us? We were a nice, peaceful, happy family until you bought that cursed doll.
Now who's blaming things on the doll?
Well, it's true.
Henry. You wanted to get some papers from your strong box.
What? Oh, yes. Excuse me.
Will you try to eat something, Cindy? Now, darling.
Yes, miss.
Alma. Alma.
Yes, Henry, what is it?
Alma, it's gone.
What's gone?
The box, the strong box is gone.
But it can't be. The door to your study's always locked, and you and I have the only key.
I know all that, and I tell you it isn't there.
Well, who would...
I don't know, Alma. Those confidential reports, if they ever get into the wrong hands...
Oh, I warned you about keeping them here.
What if it ever came out in the open? Can't you see the papers? Army colonel, derelict in duty.
Call the police, Henry.
What, and throw my career in the wastebasket after 17 years? Well, we've got to find it ourselves.
But it was there when I went in to clean this morning.
Well, what about your key?
Well, it's right here. I always keep it right with me. That's funny.
Oh, no.
But my other keys are all on the ring.
You've lost it.
I don't see how.
Alma, how could you do it?
Henry, please.
Come on, we'll search the house. I can't think of anything else to do.
Oh, dear, you're going to miss your staff meeting.
Well, all right, never mind the meeting. My whole career goes up in smoke if we don't find those reports. Now, somebody get hold of your key and open that room. I know Cindy.
Oh, let the child alone. She's been through enough. You know she wouldn't do a thing like that.
I don't know anything anymore. I don't know my own child. I don't even know you.
Henry.
All I know is that strongbox is gone with papers that are dynamite if the wrong person gets them. The question being who? What's that?
Coming from upstairs.
Dodo, kill him. How do you do?
Stop it.
How do you do?
Blasted little imp! There.
Henry.
But since we've got this thing...
Henry.
What?
Look.
Where? What?
Around the doll's neck. The key. The key to your study.
It was Cindy, after all.
I don't believe it.
Ever since she got this fool doll, she's been acting half insane. First the dog, now this. I think she hates us, Alma.
Henry, Cindy is my child, and I know her. I know she's a good, sensitive little person with no malice in her.
You're just simply refusing to face the facts, dear.
What are you going to do?
I'm going downstairs and have a talk with that young lady. Cindy, you're not telling me the truth.
Oh, yes, I am, Daddy.
Now, all I'm asking is that you tell me the truth. Now, where is it?
I didn't take it, Daddy. Honest, I didn't take it.
I suppose you're going to tell me now that a little 6-inch doll took my strongbox and hid it. Well? Cindy, I'm speaking to you.
I didn't take it, Daddy. You don't understand. Toto did it. Oh, he's terrible awful. He says things. He says he's going to kill everybody.
Cindy, you're inventing things.
It's true. At night when I'm sleeping, he stands next to my pillow and whispers things to me. Awful things. He told me he'd kill me, too, if I told him.
Alma, I think this child is sick. I think she needs a doctor.
Frightened, Henry. She's trembling like a leaf. Come on, darling. We'll go up to your room.
I don't want to
no,
go up
honey,
there.
Mommy will stay with you.
I'm afraid. He's up there.
Who, Cindy?
Toto.
Well, he won't be up there for long. Mr. Toto is going right back to Perigis' wonderful doll shop before I lose my sanity, which means right now.
Ah, Colonel Grayson. Welcome to the home of Perigis' wonderful doll.
Are you Perigi?
Santor Perigi, creator of the universal doll. The doll with the mind. The doll
Yes,
with...
well, I'm returning one of your masterpieces.
Oh? If you will step into the rear of my shop. Now, what is the complaint?
There's no complaint. Here's your doll. Good riddance.
My little Toto, rejected, you found the world of men too filled with hate. We will change all that later on. Return to your comrades in the window, little one. And now, Colonel Grayson?
I think we have no further business, sir.
Ah, but we do, Colonel. Let me see. Here it is. Do you recognize this, Colonel?
That's my strong box. Quit.
My little Toto is very clever, sir.
Are you trying to tell me your doll stole that from me?
Let us not say stole. I'm merely keeping it in custody.
What's your game, Perigi?
Blackmail. You give me what I want, I do not ruin your career.
What do you want?
Information. We already know something from the reports of the War Department, reported by one of your pilots.
What government do you represent?
I represent Perigis' wonderful dolls, none other.
I'm not so naive, sir.
Perhaps I should explain. Each man hides something from the world. Each man loves something more than life. With the help of my wonderful dolls, I obtain personal information which enables me to control the men who control the world. Men like you.
Hand over that strong box.
I warn you, I have a gun.
Give it to me.
You are being foolish. Put down that walking stick.
Now.
No closer.
Now. Hello. Give me the police. Hello. This is Colonel Henry Grayson. I've just killed a man. Perigis' doll shop, corner of 4th and Lexington. The body is in the rear. I'll wait for you. Shut up. Shut up, you little fiend!
Colonel Grayson!
Did I hear you speak?
Colonel Henry Grayson!
Oh, it can't be. I must be going out of my mind. A 6-inch doll. Shut up! Your master's dead!
You are mistaken, Colonel. I, Toto, am the master.
What do you mean?
If you will examine the body of Santo Perigi, you will see that he does not bleed. And he does not bleed, Colonel, because Santo Perigi never lived.
Never lived?
Santo Perigi is a doll.
A doll? But he's a man. He talks. He walks.
The people of Meritrix are skillful doll builders.
Meritrix? Doll builder? Who are you?
I am Xanthus Imperator, commander of the legions of the 3rd planetoid, Meritrix.
Legions? Planetoid?
My people and I, whom you regard as dolls, come from a tiny planet beyond the moon.
What?
So small that it cannot support our population.
That's true.
We landed one of our space spheres on Earth 3 months ago with the intention of colonizing. Unfortunately, one of your pilots intercepted us.
So that's why you wanted our information.
Precisely.
And you are human?
Quite human. Of course, in order to deal with Earth people without suspicion, we were forced to construct Perigi, a man-sized doll.
No, it can't be. I can't believe this. I'm having hallucinations. I've got to get out of here.
That will be impossible. We have weapons of destruction quite unknown to Earth people.
I phoned the police. I'll be here soon.
By the time they arrive, my people will have prepared something quite shocking.
Keep me covered, Brian.
Okay, Sarge.
All right. You the guy who turned in the call?
Yes, that's right, Sergeant.
Where's the body?
Well, you see, it isn't exactly a body.
What do you mean?
It's a doll.
What?
Now, wait, you've got to let me explain. I know this sounds fantastic, but I've stumbled onto an unbelievable plot.
Yeah? Keep talking.
Well, you see, these little dolls, they aren't really dolls. They're tiny people. Now, there's a big doll named Santor Perigis. They're using him as a front to run the shop.
He's off his trolley, Sergeant.
Now, look here.
Now, listen, mister, we got to call it. There was a murder here. Now, if there was one, where is the body?
Well, it's behind the curtains in the back. Only, you see, it isn't really a body. It's a big wax dummy. It's all part of their plot to gain control of the world.
Holy smoke, he's really off his rocker.
Now, look, if you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you. Come here. Look behind this curtain and you'll see the dummy lying on the floor.
Welcome, gentlemen. Are you looking for something?
Perigis. This is impossible. I smashed his skull.
Do you know this guy?
That's the one, the doll.
What's your name, mister?
Perigis, Santor Perigis, creator of the Universal Doll.
Uh-huh. You ever see this man?
Never until just now.
That's not true. He's lying. I tell you, he's nothing but a big doll. The real masters are the little dolls.
Ryan, are you getting this?
He's wacko, Sarge.
No,
He's a fruitcake.
I'm not crazy, I tell you. I can prove it. They must have fixed up his head where I smashed it in. Touch him and you'll see.
Mr. Perigis, you know what this guy is talking about?
The man is demented, obviously.
No, that's not true. I tell you, there's a plot to control the earth. I've got to call the War Department. They want to know about the flying sphere.
Holy mackerel, this gets worse every minute. Ryan.
Take him to headquarters.
No, save some time. Take him down to Psycho Ward.
Okay, all right, Buck Rogers. Come along nice and quiet.
No, don't you see? He's nothing but a man-sized doll.
I'm sure the little ones are going to take over the earth, and you'll go and wait and cut out some...
Listen to me. You've got to...
Sorry you had all this trouble, Mr. Perigis.
Poor chap. He is obviously suffering from delusion.
Well, he's not the only one in Washington today. You know, we've been getting a whole string of crack-ups lately. Bigwigs blowing their tops under pressure. If you could see some of the names in our confidential files.
You keep confidential files on cases like this?
Certainly. Believe me, they'd be dynamite if they ever got in the wrong hands. Well, I'd better be running along. My little girl would be nuts for that.
So? Then please accept the doll for saving my life. That madman might have killed me.
Yes, but
Take Toto home with you as a gift.
Well, now, I don't know, Mr. Perigis. It's against regulations for us to accept favors.
But this is not for you. It is for your little daughter. And if you will only take the doll and give him a good home, you will be doing me a great favor.
Well, then, if you insist, and thanks very much. When my kid sees this will, she'd be surprised.
Yes, Toto will come as a great surprise. A very great surprise. Eh, Toto?
This was from the world of X-1. Tonight's story, Perigis' Wonderful Dolls, an original drama written for NBC Radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Denise Alexander, Joan Alexander, Les Damon, Joe DeSantis, and Leon Janney as the doll Toto. Music by Al Behrman, narration by Norman Rose. Tonight's program was directed by Edward King, executive producer Robert Wogan.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future. Adventures in which you'll live in a million could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds.
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Parade, by George Lefferts.
You are Mr. Sid Ryan?
The same.
My name is Lucia. I'm a Martian.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. What was that again?
A Martian.
A Martian, huh? As in Orson Welles?
Precisely.
I'm a Rotarian myself. Sit down.
Thank you.
And now that we've had our little joke, Mr. Lucia, what can Publicity Associates do for you?
It has been my observation that advertising and publicity are the very backbone of earthly civilization.
Spoken like a true Martian, Mr. Lucia. Now, if you'll tell me the name of the client.
The client, of course, will be the Martian.
You don't give up, do you?
Give up?
The gag, I mean. Oliver.
Oh, yes, Mr. Ryan?
This is Mr. Lucia.
How do you do,
Mr. Lucia claims to be a Martian. Take him outside, will you, Oliver? Get the name of the sanatorium he escaped from and tell them to bring the butterfly net.
Wait, sir. I'm happy to see, Mr. Ryan, that my telling you I'm a Martian has approximately the effect I supposed it would have. I believe we can do business. I have here the cash retainer for $5,000.
Sit down, Mr. Lucia. Oliver, get the client a cigar.
Yes, sir.
No, the other box.
Thank you. No.
Well, now, what can I do for you, sir?
I wish you to manage a publicity campaign. A very large, a very important campaign.
Is the product established, or is it something brand new?
Oh, something quite new. Now, what would you judge to be the most effective type of campaign?
Well, if the client has a lot of dough to throw around, a suspense campaign is best. First, you place ads in the paper saying, watch this space. Then, about a week later, you run an ad saying XYZ or PDQ, and you get people guessing what it means. Then, finally, when you've teased them enough, you bust loose and unveil the product.
Excellent. Very well, sir. We shall conduct a suspense campaign.
Of course, in this kind of campaign, secrecy is very important. Once the name of the product leaks out, it spreads like wildfire, and the whole campaign is kerfloppo.
Yes, quite so. Utmost secrecy.
That's right. You realize, of course, these things cost like crazy.
Would, say, $1 million cover the expense?
Come again?
I said, would $1 million cover it?
Yes, I imagine. You did say $1 million.
I understood that you had handled some very large accounts. Of course, if this is too big...
Oh, not at all. As a matter of fact, I seldom touch anything less. Right, Oliver?
Huh? Oh, of course. That's right, Mr. Ryan. Absolutely right.
Good. You will begin, then, by saturating the newspapers, the radio, streetcars, with a very simple statement.
What's that?
I shall write it for you.
The Martians are coming. Say, that's not a bad teaser. Got that, Oliver?
Yes, sir.
The next ad will read, June 1st is Martian Day.
June 1st is Martian Day.
What happens on June 1st?
The parade takes place.
What parade?
I wish you to arrange a parade up Fifth Avenue.
You mean like the Macy parade?
Exactly. Except that the theme will be the world of tomorrow. The Martian world. My client would like it to be a gay affair. Balloons, clowns, pennants, pretty drum majorettes.
Say, that sounds terrific. I might be able to interest the department stores in a tie-in.
The parade will climax the campaign. On June 1st, the product will be unveiled.
Good enough. By the way, Mr. Lucia, just what is the product? What are we selling?
Oh, no, Mr. Ryan. Secrecy, remember.
Oh, but after
all will be revealed to you in good time, Mr. Ryan. For the moment, let us say we are selling a concept.
Concept?
Precisely. The concept of invasion from Mars.
Benny Marcus, please.
This is Benny.
Benny, this is Sid Ryan over at Publicity Associates. Listen, Benny, how you fix for midgets?
I got midgets.
Fine. I need 40 midgets for a parade. 40. June 1st. And listen, Benny, I want them dressed in little spacesuits.
What?
You know, like men from Mars, okay?
Midgets.
And I want some movie extras, maybe 50 of them. Also rigged up like men from Mars. Make them look gruesome. Got that?
Gruesome.
Also, I need some horses with pretty girls on top of them. Maybe you can get that bunch from Maroney's Traveling Circus. The ones we booked for the Fireman's Parade in Albany last year.
That's right, Sid.
And never mind the expense. Just get me the talent, okay? I gotta hang up now. Call me back, Benny. How you doing, Oliver?
Oh, fine, Mr. Ryan, just fine. We got full-page ads in all the dailies and 10-second spot announcements on every local station. But it's costing a fortune.
The more it costs, the bigger our percentage. Spend like you were going to the electric chair, Oliver.
Yes, sir. How you making out on the parade?
If it comes off, it'll be the biggest thing since Barnum invented the midget. I've got Macy's, gimbals, and sacks to contribute floats. Everything is built around the Martian theme, see? Even horses will have long feelers attached to them and funny-looking extra legs. It'll be sensational.
Oh, yeah, it sounds fine, only...
Only what?
Oh, Mr. Ryan, we don't even know what we're selling.
Oliver, my boy, do you think old Sid Ryan has been sitting here spending all this moolah and not putting two and two together?
You mean you know who Lucia represents?
Just by accident, understand? I have learned that Century Pictures is making a big new epic. A space opera entitled Invasion from Mars. Get it?
Oh, I begin to see.
Also, by mere coincidence, it happens to be the premiere sometime around June 1st. You follow me?
But, Mr. Ryan, Century has an exclusive contract with New Features Syndicate for all that publicity.
Suppose Century Pictures doesn't like the way New Features is handling their stuff. They want to get out of the contract, but New Features says no. So they have to get around the contract. A man named Lucia, client unknown, starts publicizing the Martian invasion. Need I go further?
Oh, I get it, Mr. Ryan. Gee, I suppose I should have thought of that.
No, Oliver, that's what I like about you. You're so innocent. Let me talk to Commissioner Patrick, please. Sid Ryan.
Hello?
Commish? Sid Ryan.
Oh, it's you. Well, what is it this time? If you want to drop a man off the Empire State Building into a teacup full of water, the answer is no. Also, we are not arresting any fan dancers.
You know I don't handle fan dances. I want a permit for a parade, June 1st, 5th Avenue. It's a Sunday. There's no traffic.
Oh, come now. Look, Ryan.
Macy's gets a permit. Gimbals gets a permit. The American Legion gets a permit. The Sons of Erin march every time Morton Downey sings the Wearing the Green. Don't give me a hard time, Patrick. This is too big. I have the 5th Avenue Merchants Association behind me.
Okay, Ryan. Fill out the forms. I'll pass them along to the license commissioner.
That's my boy.
Oh, by the way, what's the occasion?
Oh, don't you read the papers, Patrick? June 1st is Martian Day.
Well, Mr. Ryan, how is the campaign going?
Like fire, Mr. Lucia, like fire. Everybody and his brother is going along with the gag. Yesterday, we distributed 50,000 Martian hats to school kids. I even arranged for Commissioner Patrick to accept a $50,000 check for the Policeman's Benevolent Fund from the man from Mars. I understand Century Pictures spent over $1 million making that space opera.
I beg pardon?
Oh, come, Mr. Lucia. Sid Ryan wasn't born yesterday, you know. I know who our client is, even if you don't admit it.
You do?
Always thinking that's me.
Well, as long as you know, let's keep it to ourselves, shall we, Mr. Ryan? As you once remarked, when these things leak out, it destroys the surprise and ruins the effectiveness of the campaign.
Speaking to you from our portable transmitter atop the reviewing stand for the much-heralded Martian Parade on 5th Avenue. It's a beautiful sunlit day here in New York. Perfect day for a parade. And the streets are packed with thousands of spectators, all eager to find out what this is all about. There's an air of shrill expectancy.
Come over here! Okay, come all right.
I just had word from Saul Brown at the Central Park Mall that the Martians have landed from big pink balloons. And while we're waiting here for the arrival of the parade, we brought some people up to our microphone to tell you their reactions to this spectacular affair. What's your name, madam? A little louder, please.
Miss Ada Shackley.
And where are you from, Mrs. Shackley?
Columbus, Ohio.
I see. I see you have your family with you. Two little curly-headed boys. Are you in New York for your vacation?
Yeah, we came for the Shriners Convention with their daddy.
Well, what do you think of Martian Day, Mrs. Shackley?
Well, it all seems very strange to me, but the boys have been pestering me to watch it, so we've been standing here for 2 hours. I can't make head or tail of it.
Well, neither can a lot of other people, Mrs. Shackley, but judging by the thousands here already, there's a lot of curiosity.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Let's hope not. Thank you, Mrs. Shackley. And now here they come, ladies and gentlemen. The first units of the big Martian parade, swinging down Fifth Avenue. Fanfare, colored streamers, music, confetti, floats, all this passion to the Mardi Gras. Let's listen to the band for a minute. Here in the vanguard, the whole troop of little midgets in weird-looking pink and blue spacesuits, carrying Rube Goldberg weapons with signs painted on them. I can read one which says Atomic Blaster. Another has a placard reading, "We're marching through Georgia." And here come the clowns, laughing and falling all over each other. They're giving free sugar candy to the kids along the way. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's a happy, laughing crowd along Fifth Avenue today. A true reflection of the great sense of humor and good nature that makes America the place it is. Why, only... What's this? The crowd's murmuring now. They've fallen somewhat silent. There's something coming. I'll try to get it for you. What? Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the Martian Contingent. This is promised as the climax of the show. And now a great hush has fallen over the crowd. Quite a sight to see these thousands of people standing here expectantly, hearing only the great regular sigh of their mass breathing. And now here they come, ladies and gentlemen. The Martians, marching in booted, helmeted ranks, row after row of them. This is an impressive sight, ladies and gentlemen. A rather serious contrast to the rest of the joyous slapstick parade we've been witnessing up and now. There are perhaps 200 tall, broad-chested men dressed in metallic gray spacesuits with thick glass visors drawn across their faces. Each one's holding an ominous-looking ray gun at the ready position. They're marching in absolute silence, keeping step perfectly as though some unspoken command is marking time for them. Even the children are awed by the unexpected warlike realism of the Martian Legion. And now the first ranks of the Martians move past us down Fifth Avenue toward the reviewing stands at the square. No one moves. A woman, ladies and gentlemen, just dashed out into the street. For what reason, I don't know. She just slipped through the police cordon somehow. They're after her now, but she's already reached the ranks of the marchers, and she's trying to lift the visor of one of the Martian spacesuits. Wait. She's fallen. She screamed and then fell forward in a dead faint. The Martian column keeps right on coming. Unless they break ranks, they're going to trample us. No. The policemen have got her now. They're dragging her away, out of the way. Trying to revive her now. What's that? All sorts of rumors have begun filtering back through the crowd. For some reason whispering that the woman's dead. We don't know yet, but whatever's happened, the incident seems to have cast a slight shadow over the mood of the crowd. The carefree holiday air seems to have vanished. The crowd's stirring uneasily, a little disturbed at what we've just seen. Nothing to be alarmed at, however. It just seems a shame that anything like this should happen to spoil our enjoyment of the Martian parade.
Mr. Ryan, did you see that? A woman fainted. She ran out into the street to get a close look at the Martians, then she screamed and fainted dead away.
I'm well aware of that, Oliver, since I paid her $50 to do it.
What?
The dramatic moment, Oliver. The stock and trade of the good publicity man. Relax.
Holy smokes, you sure think of everything.
For my share of this deal, roughly $100,000, I can afford to think of everything. Shut the window.
Oh, okay, but don't you want to see the finish?
We'll get down to the reviewing stand for the finish. Right now, I want to make a phone call. By the way, where's Lucia?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Well, close the window, Oliver.
Well, okay, Mr. Ryan.
Market Talent Agency.
Benny, this is Sid Ryan.
Oh, say, listen, Sid, I was going to call you. I'm awful sorry about those Martians.
What do you mean, sorry? They're terrific.
No, don't joke, Sid. I mean it.
Well, I mean it, too. They're great, great.
Are you in a bag?
Never felt better.
You mean it, don't you?
Of course I mean it. What is this?
There are Martians in the parade?
About 150. Of course, I only ordered 50, but under the circumstances... What is it?
Sid, don't you know I couldn't get you a single movie extra? There's a studio strike in New York.
Huh? Wait a minute. Where'd these guys come from if you didn't hire them?
I don't know.
Hold on. Oliver.
Oh, yes, Mr. Ryan?
Did you hire those Martians?
Well, no, sir. I didn't...
Any... This is on the level, isn't it?
Oh, yes, Sid.
Okay, Benny, I'll call you back.
What's the matter, Mr. Ryan?
I don't know. Just don't know. Wonder if Lucia had them. What's Century Pictures number?
Tremaine 4, 1000.
Tremaine 4, 1000.
Century Pictures, the studio of the stars.
Give me Marty Sanford, your publicity director.
One moment, please. Sanford.
Marty, this is Sid Ryan.
Oh, hello, Sid. How's it
Fine. Listen, Marty, this is dead serious. On the level, get it?
What's wrong?
I've got to locate Lucia.
Lou who?
Lucia, come on now, Marty. This is life and death. The guy you sent over to hire me for the invasion picture.
I've heard of a guy named Lucia. And, what invasion picture?
Invasion from Mars, the space opera.
Are you batty?
Marty.
The picture was shelved last month.
What?
Sure, back in the can. The big shots decided you can't sell a Martian invasion to the American public. It's too incredible, Sid. Who'd ever believe it could really happen? Now, all agree.
Mother in heaven.
What is it, Mr. Ryan? You look terrible.
It's too fantastic.
Mr. Ryan, is something wrong?
Open that window. I want another look at those Martians. Look at them. Oliver, you were in the Army. Could 150 movie extras learn to march like that in, say, 24 hours?
No. Not in 24 days, Mr. Ryan.
Not a second's hesitation. Not one out of step. Look at the way they carry those ray guns at the ready. The only other time I've seen troops march like that was on a film of the Nazi SS troops marching through the streets of Paris.
Mr. Ryan.
Oliver, get down there. Find that woman who painted. Her name's Gloria Montez. Get her up here. Make it fast.
I can't get much sense out of her.
Stay away from me!
Okay, Gloria. You need to cut out the act and relax. It's me, Sid Ryan. Gloria, settle down. Baby, it's me, Sid.
It's awful. It's so big green eyes and some feelings like a cat thing.
Baby, snap out of it. Listen, what happened down there? You ran out and screamed like I told you, but the fainting, that wasn't in the act.
Go away, please. Go away.
Just one question, baby. Inside that helmet, what did you see? Okay, Oliver. I've heard enough anyway. You take care of Gloria. Get her a drink. Where are you going? To see the commissioner. You got to stop this parade before things begin to happen.
Okay, Ryan, what's the beef?
Listen, Patrick, I don't know what it is, see, but something's wrong. You've got to stop that parade.
I suppose you'd like the riot squad. That would get you a front-page spread on every paper in town. Now, look, Ryan, I've got no time for your cheap publicity gags. I'm a busy man.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you I don't know where those Martians came from, who they are, anything about them.
Oh, Ryan, I'm wise to your tricks. Now, if you let the sergeant show you out...
You won't do it, huh? An honest citizen appeals for protection and you refuse?
I most emphatically do. Now, beat it.
All right, Patrick. I'll go right to the mayor's office. I'll have you busted, flattened, and the fried egg.
Go ahead. I'm sure His Honor will be glad to toss you out on that phony nickel-plated skull of yours.
You heard me, Ryan. You can't see the mayor.
Adolf, please. This isn't a gag. I don't want publicity. All I want to do is maybe prevent something horrible from happening.
In case you don't know it, wise guy, something horrible is already happening. A couple of hundred little kids are in the hospital with tremaine poisoning from that phony Martian candy you passed out.
What?
Or didn't you know?
I did. We've got to stop that parade.
Sure, you'd like nothing better than start a panic now. Maybe a few hundred people get trampled to death. Think of the newspaper's face. That'd get you and your phony plot.
I won't stand for this, Adolf. This may be a matter of life and death.
Get out of here quick. It'll be your death. Go on, beat it. Get out. You and your publicity stunts make me sick to my stomach.
Oliver, where are you?
It's useless to scream at him, Mr. Ryan. Your friend is quite dead.
Lucia.
He wanted to run to the police with some story about a Martian invasion. I found it necessary to restrain him.
Restrain him, you stinking murderer!
No, Mr. Ryan, collect yourself. After all our planning, it wouldn't do to have everything spoiled now, would it?
Lucia, stop talking and talk fast, because when you get through, I'm going to take you apart piece by piece. What's this all about?
Surely you know, Mr. Ryan. After all, you've been publicizing it for months. You see, before colonizing your planet, the Martian government sent some of us as scouts in advance, disguised as Earthmen, of course, to study your habits, your weaknesses. We found that the people on Earth are predominantly conditioned by advertising and publicity. And so we conceived the idea of treating our entire invasion as a vast publicity stunt. Clever, yes? After all, Mr. Ryan, who would suspect an invader who advertised his invasion in the newspaper, invited the public to a surprise attack, and spent millions publicizing his plans?
Holy jumping.
You've done very well, you see.
Then there was no product.
Ah, but there is a product. The product is death.
What are you trying, Lucia?
We Martians are a humane people, Mr. Ryan. We do not like to destroy thousands where a few hundred will suffice. In exactly 2 minutes, our troops will treat the world to a spectacle of death, which will bring the rest of your planet to its knees in horror. Nations will clamor to surrender.
Perhaps, Mr. Lucia, but not if I can help.
Go!
Yes, please?
Operator, this is Mr. Ryan. Get me the field telephone on the reviewing stand of the Martian Day Parade. Hurry.
Anyone in particular?
Just hurry.
Reviewing stand. Hello?
Get me Commissioner Patrick.
Hello?
Hello.
You have to talk louder.
I want Commissioner Patrick. Patrick!
Wait a minute. Things are quieting down. Hey, what was that you wanted?
This is Ryan. I have to talk to the Commissioner. It's a matter of life and death.
Oh, you can't talk to him now. The Chief Marshal is presenting the PBA check to him. The Martians are going to fire a salute.
Listen, you got to stop him.
What?
Stop him!
I'm sorry, Mr. Ryan. I can't.
You idiot! The worst is No, operator. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters now.
Tonight by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Parade, written by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Joseph Curtin as Ryan, Barry Kroger as Luchar, Alexander Scourby as Ron Heilman, music by Albert Behrman. X-1 was produced by Van Woodward and directed by Edward King. Fred Collins speaking. X-1 is an NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week, The Cave of the Night, the gripping story of the first man to pilot an Earth satellite beyond the reach of gravitational pull, and of what happened when a watching world learned that something had gone wrong, that he could never return, that he was doomed to die a lingering death in the arching blackness of the sky, The Cave of Night. Hear it next week at X-1.
Did you ever stop to realize that 4 American coins show us the importance of elections? The first one is the Washington Quarter. It was George Washington who reminded us that on the unity of our government depends our independence, our peace at home and abroad, our safety, prosperity, and our freedom. The second coin is the Jefferson nickel. It was Thomas Jefferson who said, "No government can continue good but under the control of the people." The third coin is a penny, bearing the likeness of Abraham Lincoln, who said, "Among free men, there can be no successful appeal from the ballot to the bullet." And finally, the Roosevelt dime reminds us of something Franklin D. Roosevelt once said. "Every man and every woman in this nation, regardless of party, who have the right to register and to vote, and the opportunity to register and to vote have also the sacred obligation to register and to vote. These 4 Americans, by recognizing the importance of elections, added another page to your political history.
Years ago, Mrs. Patricia Gregory's yacht was wrecked in the South Seas. 14 years Mrs. Gregory has searched the world over in hopes she might find her little daughter Joan alive and well, though the world has always believed the child was lost in the shipwreck. Now the Gregory yacht, the Joan Gregory, is on the high seas, once more searching for little Joan. Captain Bradford is in charge of the cruise for Mrs. Gregory, and Jerry Hall, a young amateur radio operator from California, is with them. The yacht is 5 days out of Los Angeles, running through the South Seas. We find Mrs. Gregory, Captain Tex Bradford, and Jerry Hall in the chart room on the Joan Gregory.
Gee, but it's great to be really in the South Seas with you, Mrs. Gregory. Now that Captain Bradford has quit being suspicious of me.
You could hardly blame him, Jerry. We didn't know there was another radio in the country that would receive on that wavelength, much less transmit on it.
Oh, forget it, son. I guess you'll do.
I only hope we won't be disappointed. If we do locate this island, and if the little girl on it is... Oh, if she only could be my little Joan.
Now, Patricia, don't get too worked up over this story.
But this is the real thing. I know it is. Nobody would make up a story like that about your little girl. And look at the way those mysterious radio messages have kept coming in every day we've been at sea.
I know, Jerry, but people have made up some wild tales to try and get some of my money. You know, I've offered a big reward for news of Joan.
It's swell you named this yacht after her.
I've thought and prayed of nothing but Joan for 14 years. Now, I may be near her at last.
Well, if there's any truth in this story, we'll soon know it. We're about 4,000 miles from Los Angeles.
Are we getting close to the island?
We're getting close to the spot on the chart where the old sailor said the island was, if that means anything.
We've just got to find an island where he said it was.
But the chart shows there isn't an island anybody could live on within 100 miles of the position the old man gave.
Right, Jerry, and the chart is probably correct. We'll keep looking around. A lot of ocean in this vicinity. And if there is such an island...
Tex, you do think there's a chance, don't you?
Now, don't get your hopes up. There's always a chance of anything happening in the ocean. Come in. Come on in, Skipper. What's on your mind?
Radio.
What about the radio?
Message.
What about?
Sailor.
Let's have it quickly, Skipper. More news about the island?
No. Come on, Skipper. Out with it. What about the old sailor?
Dead.
Dead?
Dead?
No more news, eh?
Nope.
That all there was to it?
Yep.
Then we know as much as the old sailor will ever be able to tell us about his magic island and the little girl on it.
I'm afraid so, Mrs. Gregory. But if the old man told the truth about the position of the island, we can find it easy enough.
That all, Skipper?
Nope.
Got something on your mind?
Yep.
Let's have it.
Come.
Me?
You.
I'll be with you in a minute, Skipper. We've got a little work to do on this chart now.
Now.
Important?
Very.
Okay, you and Jerry work on that chart, Pat. I've got to go up on the bridge with the skipper.
Gee, Captain Bradford's sure a dandy fella, isn't he?
I think so, Jerry.
Uh-huh. I can see you do.
Why, Jerry.
Oh, I don't mind. It's all right with me.
Well, thank you, Jerry.
Oh, that's all right. Say, there's something I don't quite understand about this boat of yours.
Oh, yes?
That funny old guy that was just in here and won't say more than a word at a time, he's the skipper, isn't he?
Yes, and though he does have a peculiar way of speaking, he's the best yacht captain I've ever seen.
Oh, sure. Anybody can see he knows his business on the water. But what I mean is, well, you call him skipper and Captain Bradford captain. Now, all the boats I ever heard of, there was only one skipper, and he was the captain. Or only one captain, and he was the skipper. Or only one... Oh, now I'm all mixed up.
Well, that's easy, Jerry. The skipper, Captain John Craig, is captain of my yacht. Captain Bradford's title is from the Army, and he acts as master and owner's representative when we're aboard the Joan Gregory. Anything else you'd like to know about me?
Well, gee, I don't mean to be rude, Mrs. Gregory, but you made me tell you all about myself And you even had my dad come down to the dock and asked him a lot of questions.
So we did, Jerry. You must remember that you came to my house at midnight, a stranger. And surely you understand that in a case like this, we couldn't take any chances with you.
Well, I'm taking chances with you.
I never thought of it just that way, but perhaps you are, Jerry. Very well. Cross-examine.
Swell. Your house was a funny place, with a front door that took flashlight pictures of a fellow when he opened it.
I have a great many valuable things in my home.
Well, that part's all right. But how about the shortwave radio in your automobile? You know, it's against the law to have a shortwave set in your car, unless you're working for the government. Say, are you a G-man? No. I mean, a G-lady?
I'm afraid I can't answer that, Jerry. At least not until we know you a little better. In the meantime, you can safely look to Captain Bradford for all your orders.
I'm glad to get that much of it straightened out, anyhow.
And now that you're satisfied as to my officers, we'd better study this chart as Tex told us to.
Oh, may I ask you just one more thing about your little girl?
Of course.
Well, nobody knows exactly what she looks like now. But I've been thinking about that picture you showed me of yourself. You know, taken when you were about the same age Joan is now. Don't you think she would most likely look like that picture?
Why, I suppose she might. Why do you ask?
Well, to tell you the truth, Mrs. Gregory, I've been hoping she would look exactly like that picture.
Uh-huh.
Then if she'll only grow up to be as pretty as you are now, well, it's kind of nice for a fella to know what his girl is going to look like when she gets older.
Jerry, you're way ahead of yourself, I'm afraid. Why, you're just 16 now, and Joan would be barely 15.
Well, 16's pretty old. I guess I know what I want. And when we find Joan, well, you see, I'll show you.
Jerry, you do help me a lot. I've been rather hopeless and doubtful about it all. You seem to be just taking it for granted that we're really going to find my little girl.
I've got a hunch. And when I get a hunch, everything's going to come out slick.
Oh, Tex. What did the skipper say? What's wrong? The storm getting worse?
Sounded like it when you opened that door. But the boat isn't rolling any more than it was.
Well, Tex, what is it? You look so... Has something happened?
I don't think so yet. But if it hasn't happened, something is going to happen.
What?
The skipper took me up forward and showed me, well, things I'd never seen before.
Is the storm going to be a bad one?
Oh, that wouldn't make Tex act like this, Jerry. He's been through a lot of storms.
But this is different. This is one storm we can't go through.
What? What do you mean, sir?
Just what I said, son. And if it doesn't make sense to you, then we're in the same boat.
Tell us what it is, Tex. Jerry and I aren't afraid. What's going on?
I've been standing up there on the bridge with the skipper for 10 minutes. The bow of this boat has been right up against what I'd call a heavy bank of fog, and there we stay.
Is the wind so high we can't make any headway?
Did you ever see a bank of fog stand? Stand perfectly still in that kind of a wind?
Tex, what are you getting at? A fog bank standing still in a gale. And the boat doesn't make any way?
No, you might as well come on deck, both of you. Then you won't think it's just me that's crazy. Come on. Now, come up forward and see it for yourself.
Golly whiskers! That's some squall, all right. And we're running right smack into the center of it.
I've seen lots of these. Let the skipper make everything fast, and we'll go below and ride it out.
You've never seen one of these. We've been right here with the prow of this craft hard against that fog bank for the last half an hour. And the engines are full speed ahead.
You mean that fog is holding us here just like a brick wall?
Why, that's impossible.
I guess if the storm was hard enough, we'd almost stand still.
We might, Jerry, but that isn't it. Even if that could be the case, wouldn't this fog move a little? Wouldn't the roll of the boat change? And look around you. Wouldn't the storm be going someplace?
Golly gee, you're right, Captain. Look, Mrs. Gregory, the ocean is as smooth as if it had oil on it, everywhere except right in front of us. And the sky is clear. There is something funny about this.
What can it mean, Tex? I never heard of anything like this before. It's weird, uncanny. Just a smooth mountain of fog ahead, dead ahead. We're on the edge of a roaring storm, and yet we can't be, for all's clear around us. The motors are nearly tearing the boat to pieces, yet we don't move. What is it, Tex? What is it?
Now, don't get excited, Mrs. Gregory. I guess nothing can happen that the skipper and Tex and I can't handle.
I'm not exactly afraid.
No, nor I, but I'd like it better if we could understand it.
Will you let me try something, Captain? I've got an idea.
That's one more idea than I've got. Go to it, son.
Well, signal the engine room for full speed astern, and let's see what happens. I never heard of a storm that you couldn't run into or out of or around or away from or something.
We'll try it, Jerry. Full speed astern it is.
Now they're coming. It's pulling hard astern now.
But we don't move. The yacht acts as if she was tied up by the bow. We don't move, Tex. We don't move.
Steady, Pat. Don't go to pieces. Well, Jerry?
That didn't do any good, did it? I give up.
There must be something to do. This can't be real.
Gee, that's funny. The storm stopped.
And the engines have stopped.
Everything has stopped. Why, there isn't a sound.
That fog is standing perfectly still and straight, like a gray cement wall. Only a little tiny piece of fog floating off into the still air. This is getting kind of spooky, isn't it?
There's something mighty wrong here. I don't like it.
But what can we do?
Yes, Skipper, what is it now?
Stopped.
What stopped?
Everything.
Generators? And everything in the engine room?
Everything.
I'll get on the radio and see what I can raise.
Stopped.
Well, we can run it from the batteries.
Dead.
Battery's dead, eh? Then every instrument on board is stopped. You stay here and stand watch, Skipper. Hold the crew ready. I've got an idea. Come back in the chart room, Pat. You too, Jerry.
All right.
What are you thinking of, Captain Bradford?
Look at this chart.
Oh, our position doesn't mean anything if the instruments are out of order.
But the instruments were all right just as we hit this thing, whatever it is. We haven't moved since. There. Right there is our exact position. Look at it.
Oh, I see it now. Look, Jerry. We're there. This is the spot.
Then our position is right. The old sailor said, yeah, the ship won't move. That bank of fog. Sure it is. It must be. This is the Magic Island.
It all started in Los Angeles when Jerry Hall heard a radio broadcast over his shortwave set. The report said that an old sailor had been picked up from a small boat in the Pacific Ocean and had told a fantastic tale about a little white girl living on a mysterious island in the South Seas. How near the truth the old sailor was with his island of weird happenings, we shall soon know. Mrs. Patricia Gregory has come to the South Seas in her private yacht, hoping to find some evidence that there is such an island and her little lost girl living on it. We find Mrs. Gregory, Captain Tex Bradford, and Jerry talking excitedly in the chart room of the yacht.
Now, take it easy, Jerry. There's no such thing as a magic island or a magic anything else that I ever heard of.
Then how do you explain the yacht being stuck for an hour, held right here by a bank of fog? We can't go forward or astern, and every instrument on board is dead.
Jerry's right, Tex. There's more to this than just a storm or a fog or well, there is.
All right, all right. Now, Patricia, you just hold everything while we look this over. I don't want you to get your hopes up too high about this thing.
But this mysterious fog bank is right on the spot where the old sailor said the island was.
That's the whole trouble, Jerry. All we've got to go on is what some old sailor said.
But the radio report said he'd been a junior officer and a navigator.
Sure. He'd know about the position being correct and all that.
If he was in his right mind, yes. Don't forget that he was an old man, sick and delirious, nearly dead from exposure and fatigue. When he was picked up out of the open sea, he had no map, not a scrap of paper to verify the position.
But it said he left a diary on the Magic Island and that he kept it carefully for every day he was there.
Then why did he leave this diary on the island?
Well, maybe he was a prisoner there and had to leave without taking anything that belonged to him.
Oh, stop romancing, Jerry. You're raising Mrs. Gregory's hopes too high. She's been disappointed so many times in all the years she's been trying to locate this girl.
I know that. But this is near the spot where you were shipwrecked 14 years ago, isn't it, Mrs. Gregory?
It couldn't have been very far from here. I remember our position so clearly.
Well, the old sailor said we'd find something mysterious when we got to this spot. Well, gosh, that fog bank is mysterious enough, so part of the story is true anyway.
And if that much is true, why can't it be possible that Joan, my little girl, is on the island?
We've got to find out. right away.
All right, the yacht won't move and the fog won't move. If there was an island behind that fog, we couldn't get to it.
I know one thing we haven't tried.
Oh, then let's try it. Try anything, only do something.
Captain Bradford, you told me that ray generator thing of yours would penetrate fog, didn't you?
Why, of course, Tex. You've been waiting a year for an opportunity to try your fog-penetrating machine. We can look right through the fog with that, can't we?
Well, we could if we could use the machine.
Oh, golly whiskers, that's right. The machine won't work. No generators. Won't the batteries pull it?
They would, but they're dead, too.
But we just can't sit here and do nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat, but there doesn't seem to be anything else we can do until that fog lets go of us.
Now, look, fog can't hold a big boat. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, it adds up wrong for me, too, boy, but there it is. The bow of this boat is held tight against a bank of fog, just as solid as if we were anchored to a concrete wall. The engines won't push us through the fog, and they won't pull us off the fog. Every instrument on board is dead. Even the radio tubes are paralyzed.
Then there's only one answer. Electricity of some kind.
But where would the electricity be coming from?
No good, Jerry. We might be over a magnetic field of some kind that would throw the instruments out of order. I've seen that happen in a lot of places. But enough real electricity to hold a heavy boat powerless? No chance.
Oh, yes, Skipper?
Hurry.
What's up, Skipper?
Loose.
I think we are myself.
Drifting.
We're drifting, Skipper. The yacht's loose?
Yep. Get the engineer, quick. Full speed astern. Hold her there till we get away from that fog or whatever it is.
Aye.
Come on, folks. Let's go topside.
Oh, boy. This is sure swell.
It's certainly uncanny enough, Jerry.
Pat, Jerry, come here. We're backing away all right. There stands your fog bank.
Now, we can start your fog light gadget and try it out.
You think we can actually see through the fog with it, Tex?
I know we can. But wait till we're safely away from that gray wall.
Here comes the skipper on the run. I wish he'd get excited enough to say more than one word at a time.
Hush, Jerry. He'll hear you.
Generators.
How's that, Skipper?
Generators.
They working all right now?
Aye.
Then the other instruments ought to be all right, too. Let's check our position again.
Checked.
Good old Skipper. Where are we?
Here. Oh, we know that, but where's here? Here, show us on the chart. The exact position is important, you know. Here, Jerry, help me hold this chart still.
There.
Look, Mrs. Gregory. We're right where the old sailor said we'd find the magic island.
Yeah, everything working now, Skipper?
Is the radio okay?
Aye. Thanks, Skipper. Hold her steady now. Just keep the motors idling. If we drift away a little, let her drift.
Aye.
Can I try the radio now?
No, Jerry. Let's don't call anybody in yet.
No, Jerry. If we have found something unusual, let's work it out for ourselves.
Oh, heck. I'm sorry. But I just thought of starting the radio.
Well, let's try my fog ray first. I've got my doubts about that thing over there. You and Pat stay here and watch that fog to be sure it doesn't disappear on us. And wake us up out of all this nightmare. I'll get my machine.
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, this is wonderful, isn't it?
Just like a fairy story, Jerry. And I'm so happy. I can't explain why. There isn't any real reason for it yet, but my little Joan seems so close now. For 14 years, I've never lost hope that she might be alive and well somewhere. And now... Oh, Jerry, if it could only be.
I know how you feel, Mrs. Gregory. Kind of empty one minute and full up the next. Like an elevator running up and down in your windpipe.
I couldn't have put it just that well, but that's exactly the way I feel.
Come over here, kid, and give me a hand with this thing.
Coming up, sir. Boy, that's a heavy contraption.
Captain Bradford has been working on it for years, and he expects it to do anything with fog.
Yes, it does work in fog. You know it does, Pat. Didn't we use it off San Pedro and see right through the fog? When it was so thick the pelicans were using foghorns?
I don't remember the pelicans, Tex.
No, I'll show you in a minute. Here, loosen those wing nuts there, kid.
Aye, aye, sir. And don't you mind Mrs. Gregory, Tex. She's only kidding you because she's nervous, and she's just got to do something.
You're a sweet boy, Jerry. You do understand, don't you?
Well, I know how you feel. She's my girl, too, you know.
Will you two quit talking about something that hasn't happened yet and lend a hand here? We're about ready to try it out now. Our fog bank hasn't run away on us, has it?
Looks just like it did when we ran into it over an hour ago.
Run in the cabin, Jerry. Take this line and cut it into the power plug, will you?
You bet I will.
Oh, Tex, Maybe there is an island behind that fog. The old sailor could have been right, you know. Hurry and try it.
The tubes are warming up now. It'll be ready in a second.
Is it all ready to go now, sir?
All set, Jerry, and you can be the very first to try it if you want to.
Oh, golly whiskers. Can I?
Hurry, Jerry.
Yes, sir. Well, what do I do?
Well, now look. Extend that telescope out as far as you can. That's right. Then get down behind it. Put your shoulder against the stock and sight it just as you would a rifle. Now, when the fog begins to open up for you, run the telescopic sight in and out till you get to focus. And you'll see the ocean on the other side of that fog.
Boy, this is sure exciting. There now. I've got my sights on the fog bank.
How's the visibility?
Can't see a thing but a gray wall.
Well, hold your sights there. I'll run this barometer for you. Hold it steady now. Tell me the minute the fog starts to break for you.
Oh, hurry, Tex, hurry.
How's that, Jerry?
No, not a thing yet.
I've run through the whole visible spectrum. Here, let me take the sights, Jerry. That ought to be about it. There, now gently back so and...
Have you got it?
What do you see, Tex?
Well, I guess that's that.
Oh, Tex.
4 years' work. No use. I'm sorry, Pat.
Gee, Captain Bradford, I'm sorry, too.
Well, I've been disappointed before, son.
That was about our only hope, though.
There may be something wrong with your instruments in that gadget. Can you check them?
No use, Jerry. They check themselves. When you hear that high hum the oscillator gives off, everything's working. Every single unit in that layout is connected in series. And it either works or it doesn't.
But I can't understand it, Tex. The ray worked so perfectly off the coast of California. That fog looked just like this one. Why wouldn't it work here?
Hold everything, folks. I've got an idea.
Well, there's plenty of room for it here.
You remember when we all came up forward here? When the bow was stuck right into that fog bank and the motors wouldn't move the boat either way?
Yeah?
Yes, Jerry.
We all crowded right up on the forward end, right against the rail, didn't we?
Go on, son.
What are you getting at, Jerry?
That fog was right against us. It didn't seem to blow around us a bit. But you could hear the rush of the heavy wind.
I noticed that.
Well, I didn't at the time, but I remember it now. Go on, Jerry.
Well, that fog was right against us. You could feel it. We were there for minutes and minutes. But when we got away from there, after we had been standing in the edge of a fog, our clothes were perfectly dry.
Jerry. Why, he's right, Tex. Our clothes were dry, and we did stand right in the fog.
You've hit something there, kid.
Sure. And look, Captain Bradford's fog machine worked all right off the coast of California, you said.
Why, of course. It worked perfectly, yes.
That machine will cut a path through the heaviest fog I ever saw.
But it wouldn't go through this stuff. So there's only one answer. That fog out there is not fog.
But in the middle of the ocean, it's got to be fog. What you suggest is impossible, Jerry. Why, it's fantastic.
Look at Captain Bradford's face. He was laughing at my magic island a little while ago, but he's not laughing now, is he? I tell you, there's something mysterious here. And that fog is not fog.
Sitting on the porch resting when she first saw him. Not a tall man, a kind of softness about him, and round blue eyes and a round face. A sunburned mustache that drooped and made him look a little sad. He came walking out of the city with the graceful towers rising behind him into a hot blue sky, And for a moment, he seemed unreal.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I'm looking for a place to stay. There doesn't seem to be many such places here in the city. I noticed your sign.
Oh, yes, the sign.
Excuse me, is anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong, but...
The sign says rooms. You do rent them.
Yes, that's right. Forgive me, I feel fine. I just wasn't myself for a minute. Of course, I have a room. 3, in fact. You can have your choice.
Well, that's fine. Let me introduce myself. My name is Vincent Deem.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Deem? I'm sorry, Charles. Why don't you come in? I'll show you the rooms.
Thank you very much. I'm very anxious to get in out of the sun.
This room's just like the others, Mr. Deem, except for the video set, and there's a health ray over the bed.
Oh, it's very nice, Mrs. Childs.
And the windows are shielded glass, of course.
How much is this room, Mrs. Childs?
A little more than the others. It's 30 credits a month.
I'll take it. Would you like the money now?
If you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. I'm sure I have some here in my pocket. I forgot.
What's wrong, Mr. Dean?
Oh, nothing. I'm afraid I have nothing but very large bills, that's all. I'll have one changed later today and pay you this evening if that will be satisfactory.
All right. I imagine you want to unpack.
I might as well. Oh, Mrs. Childs, one more thing. Does the price of 30 credits include meals?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine, thank you. I'm sure I'll enjoy dining with you, and, is it, Mrs. Childs?
Yes, and my husband works at the vitamin plant about a mile from here. He should be home for lunch any minute.
Well, I'll be looking forward to meeting him.
Yes. Well, please excuse me, Mr. Dean.
Why, Mrs. Childs? What's wrong?
Sorry? Got that chow ready?
Oh, David, you're late, dear. I thought you...
Thought what?
David, we have a new boarder.
Oh?
His name is Deem. Vincent Deem. He arrived this morning.
Sorry. Is anything the matter? Has this fellow got you upset?
Oh, David, it's ridiculous, really. He's very polite, but for some reason, I can't explain it. He frightens me.
Where is he? I'd like to get a look at him.
He should be here for lunch. I didn't hear him go out.
Well, what's it all about? What upset you?
Well, his clothes, for one thing.
His clothes?
When he came in, he was wearing a black coat with a little black velvet collar, and the sun was so hot. And there were small differences in the things he wears, in the cut of them. Well, they're just not like ours. Only I can't tell you exactly why. It's almost as if he just reached his hand into some ancient refuse bin and just took out the first thing he found.
I wouldn't have believed it.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Here we are, only 3 years from the dawning of the great new technological era of the 21st century, and you're seeing ghosts in old clothes.
Oh, I was afraid you'd laugh.
David went back to work, still laughing to himself. There was nothing wrong with the guy. Sari tried to rest and couldn't. The sun, even through the filtered glass, hurt her eyes. Mr. Deem hadn't come back, but she wanted to get out of the house. So she took the moving sidewalk to the market. Perhaps it was the heat or being in the house too long. Anyway, she spent an hour at the market and felt better by the time she got to the robot checker.
Mrs. Childs, there was a friend of yours in here about an hour ago.
A friend? Well, who was it? Ruth Harris?
No, Mr. Vincent Deem. He wished to write a check and cash it, but I had no record of him in my circuits. He gave you as a reference, and so I cashed the check. I hope that was all right with you.
Yes, Robert, of course.
He was very strange. He wished to know what year it was, I told him 1997, and he seemed happy and surprised.
He asked what year.
Very nice to see you again, Mrs. Childs. Come in often. Next customer, please.
The sun was still beating down, but the street felt cold. As Sari walked home, little hands of coolness seemed to run up and down her back. She went into the house and listened. Couldn't hear a thing, but she knew that he was in the house. He was in the house, and he wanted to know what year it was.
Say, Deem, what line of work are you in? Insurance. Good business. In this city? No, in another city. Oh.
Are you planning to be here permanently?
Yes, I believe I am. I had to leave that other city. I had some trouble. It was over a woman, but you don't want to hear about that.
Oh, well, go ahead, Mr. Deem. We don't mind, if it'll make you feel any better.
Well, one does have to talk to someone. A woman worked in my office, you see. A very fine woman. I loved her very much. But she was married and had two very small children. She knew she had a duty to her children and her husband. There was nothing between us, you understand. Absolutely nothing but deep affection. But her husband, when he found out and we had words, I felt it was better to leave the city. It was very unpleasant.
So, you came here to make a new start?
Yes.
Well, I can understand that, Mr. Deem. Can't you, Sari?
Yes, David, of course I can.
Mr. Deem left the house early the next morning. He said he was going to visit the various insurance companies and see about getting a job. And Sari, left behind in the house, felt like a spy, because she knew she was going to explore his room. She had to know. One by one, she opened the drawers in the bureau. Shirts, handkerchiefs, socks, 2 suits in the closet and his black overcoat, the suitcase on the floor. Everything seemed to be in order. She tapped the suitcase with her foot, then bent down and opened it. She looked inside.
Operator, Mr. Childs, please hurry. Mr. Childs, he's in the paradoxing department.
Sorry, for Pete's sake. You know I'm up to my neck in work this morning. I had to come all the way over from the bats to answer. Sorry. What's wrong with you? Move up closer to the screen.
David, I looked in his suitcase.
Dealings?
Yes, David, he's got things in it.
Things? Sorry, what exactly are you talking about?
Things in his bag. There's 3 wilted red roses. And a gun. Oh, I've seen pictures of them. I've looked them up in the historical encyclopedia.
Say that again.
A gun. And 3 flowers. Wilted flowers. 3 red roses. At least I think they're roses. Oh, David.
Sorry. Are you sure?
I tell you, I looked it up in the book, David. I looked up the list of all the things destroyed or outlawed during the bombings. I thought I remembered, but I wanted to make sure.
You're right, Sari. I know you're right. There haven't been any guns on the face of the earth since the war. There haven't been any flowers since the war of 1980. Sorry, I don't understand this, but I'll come right home. Stay there, Sari. I'm coming home.
David? David?
Mrs. Childs? Oh, hello, Mrs. Childs. It's a bit cooler out this morning. I thoroughly enjoyed. Mrs. Childs, you're ill. Your face is so white.
Sorry, I'm home.
Be careful, don't come in here.
Be quiet, Mrs. Charles.
Sorry, what in the name of heaven? Deem. Is that
A gun, Mr. Charles. A weapon that can kill you. Come in, please. Sit down over there.
David, I'm sorry. I tried to warn you.
Never mind, darling. Dean, you killed Ferret for us. Sit down. That's better. Where do you come from? From the year 1979.
But that's impossible.
No, David. You see the gun in his hand? And the flowers upstairs.
She's quite correct, Mr. Charles.
But how could it be?
If you'll check the list in the Historical Encyclopedia, the record of things destroyed or outlawed after the War of 1990, you'll find listed a time warp machine designed in the year 1977 by scientists at the Los Oros Physics Institute. I was the horticulturist in charge of the grounds and gardens. I entered the machine 1 year before the war. They just might risk sending a man after me.
But why did you come to this here? Did you know that you were going to end up here?
No, I lied to you when I said I worked in insurance. But I told you the truth about the woman. She worked in the Physics Institute also, in one of the labs. I hated the man she'd married. I wanted to marry her desperately, but she said she had to stay with him. Then she said she was sorry for me. And so one night, when moonlight came down, walked on the mountains, back to the laboratories, down on the rose gardens that were tended so carefully in the middle of that rocky desert, to give the people working there just a touch of beauty. In the middle of that night, when my husband was working late and she and the little girl stopped by in their automobile to pick him up, I was waiting in the shadow of the building. With a gun I had stolen. This gun. I remember seeing their faces, the three of them, white in the moonlight. I raised the gun. The moon struck the barrel like white fire. And I shot. And I shot again. And again. And again. And killed one.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. As you remember, Clark Kent and Editor Perry White were the handcuffed prisoners of Duke Renaud in a second-floor room of a frame house on the outskirts of Metropolis. Kent, unable to assume his true role of Superman because of Perry White's presence, tried getting a message through to his friend Dr. Roebling, inventor of the amazing voice machine, an instrument capable of picking up sound waves no matter where or when they were created. Renaud and his henchman Curly, listening to Kent repeating the message over and over again, laugh uproariously. Listen.
Dr. Roebling. Dr. Roebling.
Listen to this, Curly.
This is Clark Kent.
Mr. White and I are being held on the second floor of a frame house at 10th Street and Marlowe Avenue.
You see, Curly?
Notify the police at once.
I don't get it, Duke. What's the gag?
There's no gag. He really means it.
What's he shooting his mouth off for? Who's he expect to hear that stuff?
He's broadcasting, Curly.
Broadcasting?
Don't you understand? He's making out he's a radio station, and he's broadcasting a message to a pal of his, a guy named Roebling.
What's the matter with him? Nuts?
Now, Curly, that ain't a nice thing to say about Mr. Kent. Did you hear what Curly said, Mr. Kent?
It really doesn't matter.
Of course not. If you want to be a broadcasting station, you go right ahead.
Dr. Roebling. Dr. Roebling. This is Clark Kent. Notify the police that Mr. White and myself are being held in a house at 10th Street and Marlowe Avenue by Duke Renard.
Now, ain't that something, Curly? Ever heard anything like it?
No, not me.
Go ahead, Kent. We like it, Curly and me.
Oh, I'm finished, thank you.
Oh, now, come on. Just because Curly don't believe you're a radio station, you don't mean you're going to stop.
No, I think I've done enough, thanks. Dr. Roebling was listening. He'll have the police here shortly.
Oh, I see. If he was listening, he'll call the cops and tell them about it.
Yes, that's the general idea.
You don't have much respect for the cops in this town, do you, Kent?
Respect? What do you mean?
You think the Metropolis cops are dumb enough to fall for a crackpot story about some guy getting a message through the air?
Well, I wouldn't worry about that if I were you, Renard. I'm sure Dr. Roebling will be capable of explaining how he received the message.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll give $100 just to hear this Roebling bozo explain how you're sitting here with bracelets on your wrist, spouting messages to him, and how he's hearing them 20 miles away. Yeah, that'd be something. Don't you think so, White?
I'm thinking only one thing, Renard. The sooner you're behind the bars, the better I like it.
Then Kent can send me messages. Providing I'm listening.
You'll get a message, all right, from the judge. It'll say 20 years to life, or maybe even the electric chair.
No, don't excite yourself, Mr. White. It isn't worth it.
Sure, keep calm. You'll live longer.
For the love of heaven, Kent, how can you sit there and tell me not to excite myself when you know what this means? It's a matter of life or death for Henry Benson.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You and your hoodlums are planning to murder Henry Benson at 9 o'clock tonight when they transfer him from city jail to the state prison. You're rubbing him out to keep him quiet.
Somebody's been telling you stories, Pop.
Yes, but they're true stories, Renard.
That's what you think.
No, neither Mr. White nor I have to think. We know. You drew lots to pick a man to go into the city jail and kill Benson. Curly was elected.
Now, wait a minute.
Let me finish. The district attorney's office found out about that little plan and decided to transfer Benson to the state prison. Someone, probably the big guy who gives you orders, tipped you off that the transfer is being made at 9 o'clock tonight. And so Curly and Spud are to follow the car Benson will be riding in and put an end to him.
Who told you all this?
I got it from a very reliable source. There's only one thing missing. Why does your boss, the big guy, want to get rid of Henry Benson?
You tell me.
I'll tell you. Because your boss is mixed up in the $1 million shortage the auditors found in the city treasury. And although Benson was city treasurer and responsible for the shortage, the big guy had a hand in it, and he's afraid Benson might break down and talk.
Like I said before, you've been going to too many movies.
We didn't get all this information from movies, Renard. Every bit of it is true, and you know it.
Don't either of you move if you want to live. Hello? The same price Thimbles was yesterday. Okay, boss. What? No kidding. How'd it happen?
As the phone rings and Duke Renard lifts the receiver from the hook, Clark Kent leans forward in his chair and, making use of Superman's acute hearing, manages to pick up a woman's voice coming over the wire.
What's the difference? How it happened? Stop asking silly questions and listen to me.
Okay.
2 squad cars left here about 3 minutes ago. Warren followed them with some detectives. We better scram in a hurry.
What about these two guys?
What 2 guys?
Kent and White from the newspaper. They know plenty.
What can they know?
Everything. The whole setup.
Then get rid of them. We can't afford to take any chances now.
You mean...
You know what I mean. Get rid of them.
Okay.
Now listen. Call me as soon as you locate somewhere.
Right. Curly.
Yeah, boss.
Someone tipped the cops. They're on the way here.
What did I tell you?
Don't worry, Pop. It won't do you no good. Curly, tell Spud to start the car and get me a couple of hunks of rope.
Okay. Oh, the police have finally caught up with you, Renard.
Not yet, buddy. It's a long way from headquarters out here. We still got time.
Your goose is cooked, Renard.
Not mine, Pop. Yours.
Here's the rope, Duke.
Good. Tie up the old guy. I'll take care of Kent.
You keep your hands off me.
Pipe down, Grandpa, or I'll slug you.
Don't have to go to all this trouble, Renard. We can't follow you, not with these handcuffs on.
I just want to make sure you don't bust loose when things start to get a little hot. There we are. That'll hold you. Hold on, Curly.
Yep.
Okay, let's go. So long.
Why, that low-down snake in the grass. I'd just like to get my hands on him once, that's all.
No, don't exert yourself, Mr. White. You can't loosen that rope.
Oh, now, who do you suppose called him to tell him the police were on the way?
It was a woman, Mr. White.
Huh? What? Well, how do you know?
I heard her voice over the wire. She told him exactly how many cars were coming. 3 in all. 2 squad cars and 1 with the district attorney and some detectives.
You mean to say you heard all that?
Oh, yes. She had rather a loud voice.
Well, I didn't hear a thing. I guess I am getting old. But anyway, what good does it do us? Renard and his pack of vermin are gone.
We'll catch up with them. The important thing is that they won't dare try to get Benson tonight. At least we accomplished...
What's the matter?
I smell smoke.
Yeah, so do I. Well, look. Huh. Look, Kent, it's coming up through the cracks in the floor. Well, what is it?
Now I know what Renard meant when he said he wanted to make sure we didn't bust loose when things started to get a little hot. The house is on fire.
Oh, no, it can't be.
That's what it is. The floor's getting warm.
Kent, what'll we do?
Now, try to loosen this rope.
We'll burn alive, but...
No, we won't. Now, just keep your head right. There. Renard needs a lesson in rope tying. Now I can free you even with these handcuffs on.
Wait a minute. Listen.
Flames crackling. We've got to hurry. Hold still.
You'll never get out, Kent. We're doomed.
Now, don't be silly. There, you're free. There you are.
Yeah, now what?
Wait, I'll try this door. No, it's locked.
Kent, our only chance is out the window. The place is an inferno. I can feel the heat coming up through the floor.
I think I can force this door. Stand back, will you? Once more will do it. There we are.
No, Kent. Look. The hall's blazing.
It is hot.
Oh, the flame is being sucked into the room now. Jump, Kent. Out the window.
Wait a minute, Mr. White. Wait, you can't do that. There's a stone pavement below. You may crack your skull.
That's better than being burned alive. Let go of my arm.
I won't let you jump.
Let go, I said.
Please, Mr. White.
Let go. Let go.
I can do this, but it's the only way. Oh. There. Now we can go out the window, Mr. White. You and Superman. Oh, here come the squad cars. I don't want them to spot me because there's work to do tonight. Up with the window. Out. And up. Up. And away.
Go down, Spud. Pull up at that gas station and fill the tank. I gotta make a call.
Okay, Joe.
Keep an eye out for cops, Curly. I'll be right back.
Don't worry.
Where's the phone booth, Bud?
Right inside, mister. You want some gas?
Yeah, fill her up. The boys in the car will pay you.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello. What are you getting for fish today?
Same price we got for thimbles yesterday. Where are you, Duke?
About 10 miles out of Metropolis. I'm calling from a gas station.
What happened?
Everything's okay.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Good. Now listen to me. It's 7:20 now. Benson is leaving the city jail at 8 instead of 9.
How come?
Never mind. There'll be 2 deputies in the car, one at the wheel and one sitting with Benson.
Okay.
Where are you going to head the car off?
Near the Red River Bridge.
All right. But remember, this time it's got to be right.
Don't worry, it will.
Call me at the other number as soon as you're through.
Right.
So long.
So long. Okay, girlie?
Yeah.
Let's go, then.
Where to, Duke?
The Conway Turnpike just before the Red River Bridge, and make it fast.
Now, what's the hurry? Benson ain't leaving the jail till 9.
He's leaving at 8. We got 30 minutes to get there.
Are you coming along, Duke?
Yeah. I gotta be sure this job is done right. Step on it, Spud.
$30 to get to the Conway Turnpike on an errand of death. Whoever is out to get Henry Benson is desperate now. This is the last chance to silence the ex-city treasurer and keep him from talking. Will Kent, even as Superman, be able to save Benson from the horrible fate in store for him? As far as he knows, the car carrying Benson is leaving the city jail at 9. Something exciting is bound to happen, so tune in to the next episode. Follow the thrilling story with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When Duke Renard, warned by a mysterious woman that the police and district attorney were closing in on his hideout, bound Clark Kent and Editor Perry White to their chairs and set the frame building on fire, he was certain it was the end of them. But Kent, as Superman, rescued Editor White from the blazing inferno a moment before the police arrived, although he was forced to knock him out in order to assume his real identity. Meanwhile, Renard and his two henchmen, Curly and Spud, got away in a high-powered car and are on their way to the Conway Turnpike, a deserted stretch of road where they plan to intercept the car carrying Henry Benson and his guards. Kent and Perry White are back in the latter's office at the Daily Planet. White is nursing a badly swollen jaw and complaining bitterly about it. Listen.
I still don't see what right you had to haul off and sock me. Well, I can't even talk.
Sorry, Mr. White, but it was the only way. You wanted to jump out the window. Certainly a slightly painful jaw is better than a couple of broken legs.
I wonder. What'd you hit me with, a sledgehammer?
No, just my fist. It's for your own good.
Next time, try not to be so good to me.
Well, if you'll just keep that ice bag on the swelling, I'm sure it'll go down.
I don't know why I haven't sent you packing. Incidentally, how did we get out of that burning building?
Why, through the hall.
Through the hall?
Yes.
You're crazy. It's like the inside of a furnace.
Oh, well, I managed to find an opening where there wasn't any flame.
What happened to the police? Did they ever get there?
Oh, yes, just as we left.
Did Warren, the district attorney, see you?
No, I slipped around the back of the house, hailed a taxicab, and brought you to the office.
I don't know, Kent. Sometimes I can't figure you out. The stories you tell are a little fantastic.
Well, now, there's certainly nothing fantastic about hailing a cab, is there?
No, but I saw that hallway. It was blazing. And yet you carried me through it, down the steps, around to the back of the house, and hailed a cab. All without even scorching a shoe. Well, what's the difference? We've certainly made a mess of things. Instead of rounding up Duke Renard and his gang of cutthroats, we came close to losing our lives.
Oh, we'll round them up yet. Benson is being transferred from the city jail at 9 o'clock. Renard's men are going to intercept the car on the Conway Turnpike. I'll be there to see that they don't.
Oh, don't be a stupid fool. That's a job for the police. I'm not going to be responsible for anything happening to you.
Now, look, we've gone through all that, Mr. White. Nothing's going to happen to me. I got it all figured out.
What do you mean?
There'll be 2 jail guards in the car with Benson. One at the wheel and one in the back seat. I'm going to be the third.
The third what?
The third guard. Only one difficulty. I need a uniform.
Are you mad, Kent? What is all this nonsense?
It isn't nonsense, Mr. White. If I can get a prison guard's uniform, I'll make the trip in Benson's car. Naturally, knowing that Duke Renard's men are lying in wait for us, I'll be in a position to handle them.
Why can't the police do it? You're a newspaper reporter, not a cop. At least, I'm paying you to be a reporter.
Oh, you get your money's worth in an exclusive story, an eyewitness account of an attempt made on Henry Benson's life.
Sure. Unless you stop a bullet.
Well, if I stop a bullet, it'll stay stopped.
What?
Well, I won't get in the way of any bullets.
That's a bright remark. I suppose if one of those mugs fires point blank at you, you'll just catch the bullet and flip it back at him, huh?
I'm afraid only Superman can do that, Mr. White.
Superman. You're beginning to sound like that copy boy, Jimmy Olsen.
Well, that's not getting us anywhere. The point is simply this, Mr. White. Someone is trying to silence Henry Benson for fear he'll spill the beans about that $1 million shortage.
Yeah, that much I know.
All right. Now, I told you earlier this evening that I suspected District Attorney Warren.
Yes, and I told you were crazy. Warren prepared the case against Benson, and Warren hooked Duke Renard with an $85,000 fine and some crooked building deal.
You may be right. Probably Warren himself isn't involved, but someone on the inside is. Otherwise, Renard wouldn't be tipped off to confidential information the way he is.
Now, wait a minute. I seem to remember your telling me that a woman called Renard and warned him that the police were closing in.
That's right.
Well, how does a woman get mixed up in this?
I don't know. But whoever she is, she certainly has some way of knowing what's going on. That's why it might be dangerous to tell the police about this 9 o'clock affair. See, it may get back to Renard that the police are wise, and, well, then where are we?
Well, you may have something there. What do you propose to do again?
Get hold of a prison guard's uniform, present myself as representing the state prison, and go along in the car with Benson and the 2 guards.
And where do you think you can find a uniform at this hour?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got a friend in the theatrical costuming business. He carries all kinds of uniforms. Oh, they're leaving the city jail with Benson at 9. Is that right?
Yes, we've got just about an hour. It's 10 of 8 now.
Okay, I'll call him.
Oh, the switchboard is closed, Mr. White. You'll have to dial the number.
Yeah, well, I remember it. Now, let's see. Metropolis 4873. I think that's it. M-E-4-8.
As Editor White attempts to contact his friend in the theatrical costume business, unaware that the hour of Henry Benson's departure from the city jail has been changed from 9 to 8, the car carrying Duke Renard and his 2 henchmen, Curly and Spud, turns off the Conway Turnpike and comes to a stop on a well-hidden wagon road.
Okay, this is fine. Shut off the motor.
What time is it, Duke?
Just 8.
Well, that means we got a good 40 minutes. It'll take them that long to get here.
Turn on the radio. Get some music.
Mind if I cop a little snooze, Duke?
No, go ahead, Spud.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jack Ransom bringing you the latest up-to-the-minute news.
You want to hear the news, Duke?
Yeah, keep it on.
Metropolis. Local police and fire officials are trying to explain the cause of the mysterious blaze that leveled a 2-story frame house at 10th Street and Marlowe Avenue early this evening.
Hey, listen to that.
Shut up.
Police have been tipped off that the house was being occupied by Duke Renard, wanted for questioning in the Benson case. However, upon arrival, they found it in flames. Residents of the neighborhood reported to the police that they had seen a black sedan parked outside the house for more than an hour before the fire started. Police are in possession of the license number, but have not yet revealed the car's ownership. District Attorney Warren, in a statement issued at the scene of the fire, said he would order an investigation.
Hey, they got our license number, Duke. What do we do?
Turn that off.
But you hear what he said?
I heard it.
I mean about the license number.
That's not what bothers me. He didn't say anything about Kent and White.
No, nothing at all.
They couldn't have gotten loose.
Oh, no, not a chance.
But if they did, there'll be trouble.
What do you mean?
Kent knows we got Benson on the spot. If he tips the cops, we won't have a chance. There'll be a million of them following that car.
Well, what do we do?
Now, wait a minute. I gotta think.
I don't like mixing with cops. Not out here.
You won't have to mix with them. That bridge up ahead is a draw, isn't it?
It's a what?
A drawbridge. It opens up to let boats through.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, if it is, I got the answer. We can get Benson without even pulling a gun.
How?
I'll show you. Wake up, Spud.
Hey, what's the matter?
Drive the car across the bridge. Park off the road on the other side.
Okay.
What do you got up your sleeve, Duke?
You'll see. Take it easy, Spud. Keep your lights down.
Right.
Yeah, it's a drawbridge, all right. The kind that opens sideways. That suits me swell.
I don't get it, Duke.
Hold your horses. Okay, Spud, this is far enough. Pull off the road. Kill the motor. Turn the lights out. You stick with the car, Spud. Curly's coming with me.
What's the setup?
I'm going to tell you. The car carrying Benson has got to cross this bridge to get to the state prison, see?
Yeah.
Well, instead of taking any chances on shooting it out with cops, we're going to drop that car into the river.
Drop the car into the river? How?
You see that little house back on the bridge on the right-hand side?
Yeah, I see it.
That's the bridge-keeper's house. He's the guy who opens and shuts the draw when a boat goes through. Sometimes there's 2 guys, but it don't matter.
No, I still don't get it, Duke.
You got a head like a tack. We're going to take over the bridge, and when the car with Benson in it comes rolling along, we'll open the bridge up and the car will drop into the river.
You sure are smart, Duke.
Yeah, and how?
If we handle it right, it won't matter how many cops are following that car. They won't even be able to cross the bridge because it'll be open and we can make an easy getaway.
Oh, that can't miss. There's only one thing.
What?
How we know which is Benson's car?
2 ways. Number 1, it'll be a sheriff's car with a red light on it. Number 2, we can figure the time. It left the jail at 8. That means it'll hit this bridge at about 8:40. Come on, we've got to work fast. Follow me, Curly. Keep your gun handy.
Right. I only see one guy in the house, Duke. He's an old geezer.
Yeah. I guess he's alone. Well, that makes it easy. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
We're not going to mess around with the guy in the house.
What do you mean?
We can't take any chances. He's liable to knock over a telephone or maybe press a button that'll jam the whole works.
So what do we do?
Slug him fast. I'll go in first and you sneak in behind me. Just tap him with the butt of your gun. Not too hard, but enough to put him to sleep.
Okay.
Come on. All right, here's the door. He's reading the magazine. This will be a cinch. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Good evening.
Let him have it, Curly.
Oh, he's out cold.
Good. Now, let's see how these levers work. This one's marked open, full speed. Yeah, I guess that means the draw. Well, here goes.
Well, it doesn't look very hopeful with Duke Renaud in control of the drawbridge, and Clark Kent still under the impression that Henry Benson is to leave the city jail at 9 o'clock. Unless a miracle happens, a miracle that only Superman can create, Henry Benson is doomed. What will the outcome be, and who is the mysterious, unknown power behind Renaud? Listen to the smashing climax of this story in the next episode of Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
The bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
In exactly 6 minutes and 45 seconds, there will be an important announcement from Space Academy Supply Headquarters. So stand by. And now, Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Four previous expeditions have gone hurtling through space to distant Delport, a planet outside our solar system, and have never been heard from again. Now the Polaris has landed on the planet's surface, but almost immediately its Space Cadet crew finds itself marooned there by a nova explosion. Setting up camp in a veritable tropical paradise, they are about to make repairs on their ship when Tom Corbett discovers signs of habitation, and at once the Space Cadets set out to investigate.
Close up, men. Stay together.
We must be getting pretty close to the colony now, Captain Strong.
Yes, Corbett. It should be just over that next rise.
I'm keeping my parallel ray handy, Captain.
All right, Manning. But remember, men, no matter what we find, you're not to fire unless I give the order. Is that clear?
Aye, sir.
Right.
Hold up a minute, Captain.
What is it?
I thought I caught a glint of metal through the brush over there. I see it too, sir. About 5 yards to my left. Shall I investigate?
Go ahead, Manning. We'll cover you.
Take it easy, Roger. Jumping jets, look what I found.
What is it, Manning? Come on, then.
How do you like this? The wreck of a spaceship.
It's one of ours. You can tell that at a glance.
Well, there's the answer, Captain Strong. This is the wreck of one of the earlier expeditions. Sure, and those huts we saw must belong to the survivors.
Quite right, gentlemen. Quite right on both counts.
Jumping Jupiter, where'd he come from? Watch it, Roger. Keep that gun down.
By the rings of Saturn, sir, you must be...
Captain Yates of the Cygnus. Ah, yes.
Well, that was Expedition 1.
I think I know you, too, sir. Aren't you Captain Strong of the Solar Guard?
That's right. I'm mighty glad we found you, Captain Yates. You've been given up for lost, you know.
Naturally, it's been such a long time, dear me. Well, now that you're here, let me welcome you to my planet, gentlemen.
Thank you.
By all the suns, you don't know how good it is to see someone from Earth again.
We almost overlooked your valley, Captain. If we hadn't been flying low, we would have missed it.
Well, I'm certainly glad you didn't. Not that we have much hospitality to offer here, but if you'll come along to the village, we'll try to give you a royal welcome. And now that you've met the surviving members of my crew, I would like to present my daughter, Arlene.
Welcome to our colony, gentlemen.
No grass skirt, but she'll do.
What did you say, Cadet Manning?
Nothing, sir. I just said I was glad to meet your daughter.
Why, thank you, Cadet, and I'm sorry about the skirts. Had I known you were coming, I'd have made the necessary arrangements.
Oh, look, I didn't mean it. Well, you weren't supposed to hear what I said.
Uh-oh, Roger's done it again.
Don't mind Cadet Manning, Miss Arlene. He means well.
Of course I don't mind. After all, when a rescue expedition comes after all these years, we're very grateful to the men in it.
Yes, quite so, quite so. Though I must confess, Captain, I'm a little surprised they waited so long to send you.
Why, sir, a relief expedition was sent out almost immediately. Didn't it ever turn up?
Not to our knowledge, Corbett.
All told, sir, there were 3 others before us.
3 others. Think of that, Arlene. And all lost before they reached here.
Captain Yates, I've been wanting to ask you, why didn't you try to radio for help?
Oh, I only wish we could have, but our communications man was killed when we crash-landed and our electronic equipment damaged beyond repair.
From the looks of that wreck, it's a miracle any of us survived.
Oh, purely a matter of luck, Captain. Tell me, have you been able to maintain audio contact with the advanced base?
No. Since that Nova explosion occurred in space, we've been cut off completely.
You mean communication is impossible for the time being?
Well, there's been a radiation barrier, but as soon as we make repairs, we'll try to raise the base again.
Your audio transmitter was damaged?
By that tidal wave. Our ship suffered some minor damage, too.
It's a terrible thing, those tidal waves. Terrible. One of Delport's most unpleasant characteristics.
Captain Yates, you may be able to help us.
Anything I can, Corbett, of course, certainly.
Well, were there any transmitter parts left in the wreck of your ship? If I could salvage what I need instead of having to rebuild...
You're welcome to anything you can find, Cadet. Why not investigate the wreck on the way back to your own ship?
Well, thanks, Captain. We'll do that.
And then, as soon as you've made the repairs, return here. We'd like to have a little feast and celebration, a small collation.
Sounds great, Captain Yates. As soon as we get the good news through to advanced base.
Back home, they'll be mighty glad to know we found you, sir.
Of course. You don't know how true that is, Cadet. How very true indeed.
Found any good pipes in this mess, Tom? Yes. Look at this.
What is it?
Looks like a simple check valve to me.
Hey, it's a check valve, all right, but not a simple one.
What do you mean?
See for yourself, sir. This is the new improved type that was put into production last fall.
Are you certain of that?
I'm positive, sir. The very first batch of these was installed on the Sirius.
So the ship that made the 4th expedition?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute, Junior. Are you trying to tell us this wrecked ship is the Sirius?
You're jet happy.
This is Yates' ship.
It can't be, Tom. Yates has old type valves. These new babies haven't been developed yet.
Yeah, but why should Yates lie to us? He said none of the rescue expeditions ever arrived here.
Just the same.
Well, I still say that we didn't...
One minute.
Sorry, sir.
I still don't see what this is all about, but it's clear that Yates has lied to us.
It certainly is.
Now, he may have some perfectly good reason, but until we find out what that reason is, we've got to proceed on the basis that this expedition, and every one of us personally, is in deadly danger.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spacemen, your official Space Cadet goggles are now ready. Send for them right away. Now, these space goggles are the very same as the goggles issued to all Space Cadets at Space Academy. They're made of a special plastic for clear visibility under all space conditions. Now, don't confuse these goggles with ordinary goggles. You know, the kind with a lens over each eye. Space goggles are made of one sweeping curved piece of colored plastic, like a giant bubble that fits right over both eyes. It even fits over eyeglasses, too. Now, this advanced design is now being used by automobile racers, motorcycle riders, and other racing men. Well, now, you join these men with your own space goggles. It's very important, though, that you send for your space goggles right away. Now, Supply Headquarters at Space Academy wants all spacemen to get their space goggles as soon as possible. So follow these official instructions. To get your space goggles, send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, your name and address. Send to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Don't wait, spacemen. Send for your space goggles today.
The crew of the Polaris has found foolproof evidence that Captain Yates lied to them regarding the fate of the previous rescue missions to the planet Delport, and now they realize they stand in deadly danger. They would be even more convinced of this grim fact were they able to eavesdrop on a conversation taking place at the nearby village between Captain Yates and his beautiful daughter, Arlene.
Perhaps if we ask them, Father, just ask them to join our colony here and forget about the universe outside.
I tell you, it would be futile, Arlene. Just as it's been futile with most of those other stupid, stubborn solar guardsmen.
But 3 of them are just cadets.
No, they'll follow strong. You know that.
I'm not so sure. The way one of them looked at me, he might be persuaded.
I'm sure of that, my child, given time. But we have no time. They must be prevented from notifying their base that they found us.
Of course, but... Oh, please, no more killing.
Arlene, not that word. You know how I detest the very thought.
You may detest it, but you'd still do it.
Only if I must. But you do appreciate, dear child. There's no turning back.
Are you sure it wouldn't be better to just give up, Father? Admit everything. Show how this strange planet...
Now, don't get panicky. I handled those other rescue expeditions, and I'll handle this one. Hear me, I will.
They'll just keep sending ships, Father, and sooner or later...
Oh, I think not. After 5 lost ships, public opinion will be aroused, Arlene. There'll be much opposition to a 6th futile try. And the authorities will bow to public clamor.
I hope you're right, Father. I know how you feel about this place.
Do you really, my child? When I set eyes on this valley, after 50 years as a spaceman, I knew I'd found paradise at last. That's why we must not let anyone rob us of it, dear child. Not anyone. No one at all.
All right, Father. What about the Polaris transmitter? If they have a chance to repair
it...
Oh,
yes. That must be prevented. The lengths I've gone to protect this place, that might be misunderstood. I might be called a murderer, put on trial, even executed.
Oh, no, I couldn't bear that.
Help me, child, help me.
You know I'll do anything. Provided you promise you'll give the Polaris crew a chance to make their own choice.
Very well. I will. Now, go and divert their attention while I do my work on the Polaris.
How much time will you need?
15 minutes, only 15 minutes. And then I guarantee that no one in all the universe will ever hear from them again.
I'm glad I found you.
Arlene, what are you doing here?
I got through the jungle to warn you. I delayed them as long as I could, but they're on their way here.
All right. I've already wired up the rocket mechanism, and I'll be through here in a minute.
What about the communicator?
It's all set. I smashed the power tube completely, my child.
Suppose they have a spare.
They did? That's here in my pocket.
Father, when they discover they can't repair the radio, won't they decide to blast off?
Oh, I've taken care of that. The Polaris isn't going anywhere. If they try to raise ship, they'll be in for a surprise. Such a surprise.
You wouldn't kill them. Oh, you promised.
Arlene, look out the port. They're coming. Quick, through the emergency escape hatch. There's not a moment to lose.
How's it coming, Corbett?
All right, sir. These parts fit perfectly. I'll just check the circuit.
And then we talk with civilization again.
You said it, Astro. Hey, what in the universe?
Oh, what's the trouble?
This power tube is smashed. Hey, it must have happened in the tidal wave. No, I checked the tubes when we took damage inventory.
Well, we've got a spare, haven't we?
Yes, sir, in the parts locker.
I'll get it, Tom.
Suffered second.
Now what? That spare's gone.
Impossible.
Are you sure, Astro?
Positive. Oh, I don't get it.
How in blazes could you be so stupid? We could jury rig anything except the tube. There's no way to fix that.
No way except... Hey, wait a minute. I've got an idea.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
All we do, sir, is blast off and get up above atmosphere. Space is a more perfect vacuum than you can find in the best tubes.
Tom, you're right.
Once in space, I'll get out on the hull and rig up a metal cover for the tube, which should give us a perfectly good vacuum tube.
Sounds good. Will it work, Captain
It
Stone?
ought to. Theoretically, there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, then let's try it, sir.
Right. All hands to your stations. Prepare to raise ship in 5 minutes. Energize the cooling pumps.
Pumps in operation, sir.
Feed reactant.
Reactant, feeding a D9 rate, sir.
Switch in takeoff gyros.
Gyros on, sir.
Good. Blast off minus 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
Great galaxy, what was that?
Sir, that explosion came from below.
Astro. Come in, Astro.
He doesn't answer, sir.
No wonder. That blast was big enough to blow the power deck and anyone on it into space dust.
I'm all right now, sir. Just shaken up a little.
What happened down here, Astro?
I don't know, sir. I threw the switch for the rocket firing mechanism. There was a blinding flash of light and then the explosion.
And there's only one possible explanation for all this, and that's sabotage.
Captain Yates, sir?
Yates or one of his men. A deliberate attempt to keep us from blasting off.
I can't believe it.
Boys, it's time we called a council of war. We're in desperate straits now, and the odds are against us. They are enormous.
You're so right, gentlemen.
Jumping jets. It's Yates.
Don't move, any of you. Blasters are very efficient. Although I'd be very reluctant to use it, I will if I must. Truly I will.
He's back toward the emergency hatch, Roger. Okay.
That would be most unwise, Manning. You'd only meet some of my men on the other side. Your ship is surrounded. You have no choice but to surrender.
And what do you plan to do to us, Captain Yates?
Well, that's entirely up to you, sir. To be perfectly frank, though, I'm very pessimistic. Very.
What about, Captain?
Why, that you'll be any more intelligent in your choice than so many of your Solar Guard friends. Stupid fellows, really stupid.
And what is our choice, Yates?
So simple, really simple. You acknowledge me as your leader. You live in this paradise as my faithful followers. And give up all outside ties.
Suppose we refuse.
Then you must suffer the consequences. And I do mean suffer, young man. Indeed I do.
Well, I'll say right now.
Not too hasty. You'll have time to ponder all this.
You must be insane. You can't just set up a separate kingdom and keep out the whole universe.
To date, we've managed quite well, Captain. True, we've had to destroy some ignorant people who couldn't appreciate our kind offer, but... then the price of peace is always high.
My crew and I were sent here under orders, Yates, and we'll carry them out, or die in the attempt.
As you wish, Captain. You'll find this valley a very pleasant place to die.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spaceman, send for your official Space Cadet goggles right away. These goggles, part of every Space Cadet's equipment, are so useful, well, you want to carry them and wear them every day. You know, Astro says space goggles, well, they're just about the most important things a spaceman can have. Right, Astro?
You bet, Spaceman. When I'm working down on the power deck of the Polaris, there's a lot of radiation glare around. Wearing space goggles protects my eyes. And you know, these aren't regular goggles. They're advanced design goggles for use out in space. One sweeping, curved piece of clear, colored plastic. Like the observation blister in a jet boat, or a giant bubble that fits right over both eyes. So send for your space goggles right away. Space Academy Supply Headquarters has them all ready and waiting for you. And if you're smart, you'll send for an extra pair, too, so you'll have them for emergencies.
Good idea, Astro. And now, spaceman, write this down. Here's how to get your official Space Cadet goggles. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, and your name and address. I'll repeat that. 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Send to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Hop to it, spaceman. Send for your space goggles today.
The crew of the Polaris has been imprisoned in a cave cut into a hillside near Yates Village. Working in complete darkness, the cadets have examined it carefully, going over it inch by inch with their fingertips. But they have found nothing to give them any hope of escape. Straining their eyes in the pitch-black gloom, they wait and wonder what is to happen next.
Why didn't Yates kill us? Why should he bring us here?
I overheard him tell his men something, Captain. Seems he promised his daughter to give us every chance to change our minds.
How long does that mean? Until we rot? Unless we can find a way out. Bad chance of that. They've got a magnetite door and an energy lock on the mouth of this cave. Plus a man on guard outside.
If we only had a little light.
Quiet, everyone. Listen.
What in the universe is that?
The sound's coming from beyond the left wall, sir.
I can hear it a lot plainer now with my ear against the wall. Oh, a cosmic... Somebody's digging in there.
Captain Strong, could it be another prisoner?
It's hard to say, Manning. This hill is riddled with limestone caves. I noticed that when they brought us here.
Then it could be another prisoner.
Let's start digging toward him from this side.
With what?
With anything, Manning, including your hands. Get busy.
Almost ready to break through, sir.
All right, Tom. You keep on digging. We'll stand on either side and be ready for anything.
There goes the last of it.
What's it now?
Hello.
We've made contact.
Who's there? Who's on the other side?
Prisoners. Who are you?
Prisoner, too.
Is that hole large enough for him to come through?
I think so, sir.
Give me your hand, and I can make it all right.
Here. Hold on. That's fine. Your shoulders are through. Easy now.
Thanks. Oh, what it means to hear another voice.
Who are you, sir? I'm Captain Strong of the Solar Guard.
Strong. You too, eh? I'm Larkin, captain of the Sirius.
So this is what happened to you, sir. We found the wreckage of your ship.
Yates and his men wrecked it after we landed. They killed most of my crew, but Yates thought he could win me over to join his colony and imprisoned me here. I couldn't have stood another day alone in there.
Captain Larkin, how often do the guards bring food?
Once a day.
How many of them?
Just one man. But he's always armed with a blaster, and he makes me back away from him, to the end of the cave. Why?
Would you be willing to take a risk, sir? Along with us, I mean.
Would I? Son to a man who's been buried alive for as long as I have, anything's worth a try. Show yourself. Yates, what are you...
I have your dinner. I brought it personally.
Well, what do I owe the...
You know the rules, Larkin. Move back. Back into the light where I can see you.
All right.
That's it. Move well back. Now, Larkin, I'm sorry it's not your dinner I'm bringing you, but your death.
Grab it! Got him, sir!
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Let me go. This is impossible.
Okay, I've got his artillery. Pin his arms and we've got it.
Don't worry, he can't make a move.
You cry out, Yates, and I'll blast you into space dust. Is that perfectly clear?
You have me. Yes, alas, you do.
Corbett, that was a mighty clever idea of yours for all of us to gather here in my cell.
It certainly was. And to have the boss wander in instead of the mess sergeant was really a break for us.
Corbett has all the luck.
Oh, I don't know, Roger. This turns out pretty well for you, too.
How do you figure, Junior?
Why, Roger, you were so unhappy at the idea of leaving Arlene, remember?
Sure, but I don't see...
Tom's right, Roger. Now she and her father will both be going back to Earth with us. And you can visit them both every day in jail.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom, Corbett, and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when Tom and Roger Manning escort the first interplanetary circus on a trip to Venus and find that deadly peril lurks beneath the big top tent of the greatest show in the universe. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Al Markham, Edward Bryce, Ian Martin, and Susan Douglas. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
You, finding life rather dull, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else, we offer you escape.
Escape with us now to England and the story of an innocent man caught up in a murderous web of international intrigue, as Geoffrey Household tells it in his exciting new novel, A Rough Shoot.
It happened on an autumn evening, so silent and peaceful that no one could have a thought of human violence. And now I was walking home from Mr. Blossom's farm in Dorset, on which I had rented the hunting rights, the rough shooting for the season. As I approached our house, where my wife and children were waiting supper, I took a last anxious look back over my shoulder, across the meadow dotted with clumps of thorn, gorse, and bramble, stretching away until it vanished in a mist of gray and green. And then I hurried on into the house, glad for its cozy warmth and feeling of security.
Oh, what kept you so long, Roger?
I'm sorry, Cecily. Where are the boys?
They've had their supper. I've sent them to bed. You must be starved.
I'm afraid I'm not hungry. What I need is a pot of whiskey.
Roger, what's the matter?
I don't quite know how to tell you, my dear.
Tell me what? What is it?
Well, out there on the chute. Just a little while ago.
Roger, what happened?
Oh, Cecily, I can hardly believe it myself now.
Tell me what happened.
All right. I killed a man.
What?
It's true, Cecily. I killed a man and then I threw his body in the sump.
Roger!
It's true, Cecily.
But you couldn't have. I don't believe it.
Well, listen to me, Cecily. You see, I was walking back from Mr. Blossom's farm and I saw 3 men bending over something by a hedge. I thought they might be poachers. So I started toward them when a cock pheasant suddenly flew up in front of them and then one of the men shot it with an air pistol. Well, it made me angry, and I lost my head. If they were poachers, I wanted to teach them a lesson to frighten them. So I let one of them have a charge of birdshot in the seat of the pants, and, well, he fell forward onto the ground, and lay there kicking for a moment, and then he was still. I ran up to him, I turned him over, and I found that he'd fallen onto a sharp spike that he'd been working with.
Oh, Roger, how terrible.
It was driven into his head. It killed him.
Oh, you didn't... It was an accident.
Yes, I know it was, but no one will believe it now.
But why, Roger?
Because I've hidden his body under 10 feet of water. In the sun.
Why did you do that?
I don't know why, Cecily. I don't know why I did it. I just lost my head, that's all.
Oh. Roger, you said there were 3 men there.
Yes.
What became of the others?
Well, that's the strangest thing of all, Cecily. When he fell, they turned and ran.
But why?
I don't know why.
Have you told the police?
I can't tell the police.
Mr. Blossom will go to them. It happened on his farm. He'll go.
No, Blossom doesn't know about it.
But surely he'll find out.
No one will find out. That is, not until the body is discovered.
What about his friends, the men who saw it?
Well, Cecily, if those 2 men were going to the police, they'd have stayed to identify me. But they ran away instead. Don't you see? For some reason, they didn't want me to identify them.
Well, they were poachers.
Oh, no, they weren't poachers. I'm sure of that.
Oh, then what were they doing there?
I don't know, my dear, but for my own protection, I'd better find out.
How?
Well, the only thing I can do is to go back there and see what I can discover.
Oh, won't that be rather dangerous?
Well, it would be more dangerous not to find out.
Yes. Yes, perhaps it would. Oh, but do be careful, Roger.
Yes, of course, my dear. Of course I shall. I went to a garage in town. I rented a bicycle, and I pedaled out to the back acres of Mr. Blossom's farm. Out to where only a couple of hours ago I had killed a man. It was a gusty night. The trees along the road were enveloped in mist and creaked and whispered in the wind. I came to the great hedgerow of thorn and holly. The rattle of whose branches and dying leaves made enough noise to cover the sound of my approach. And there I stopped and looked about, into the milky and uneasy world that surrounded me. And suddenly, parked on the road ahead, I saw a motorcycle and sidecar. I left my bicycle. I crept down the road past the motorcycle, staying close to the hedgerow.
I told you we shouldn't have taken such a chance. Business, you've got to take chance. I don't like it. He saw us. He's bound to come there. Shut up and get to it. Had enough of your complaining. Oh, but I... What is that? I don't know anything. There's something here in his head. Give it a flashlight. Turn off that picture. Here he is. Oh, I could come out of there. Oh, there's someone. You come back here. Come back here.
I raced back down the road, still gripping the shovel I'd snatched from the man who had attacked me. And when I reached the motorcycle, I stopped just long enough to slash the exposed, delicate wiring of its engine with the shovel and then ran on. A few minutes later, I was pedaling furiously home. Next morning, after seeing Cecily and the boys off to church in the village, I decided to go straight to Mr. Blossom's farm, avoiding for the present an investigation of the scene at the hedgerow. I thought it best to see if I could discover anything from Blossom before exposing myself further. As I approached the farmhouse, I noticed a big shiny limousine parked out by the barn and Mr. Blossom in the yard talking to his landlord, Robert Hayne Hassingham. I would have preferred avoiding Hassingham on that particular morning, but they had already seen me, and so I walked on and into the yard.
I've seen everyone about these premises who's new around here, and I just...
Of course, Mr. Blossom. I was just wondering. Government, very strict about poachers. Good morning, Colonel Payne.
Good morning, Hassan. Mr. Brown.
Good morning, sir.
Well, I've just been protecting your hunting rights.
What do you mean, protecting them?
Some poachers about.
How do you know that?
One of the man who saw them. He came to me.
Well, now, he shouldn't be bothering you with that. I don't understand why a man who saw someone poaching on my hunting bazaar wouldn't come to me.
Perhaps he tried. Perhaps he couldn't find you.
Who was he?
Well, I haven't any idea. I never saw him before in my life, Colonel Tane.
Mr. Tane, if you don't mind. Or just Tane. I'm not fussy, but not Colonel. I'm only a military man in case of war.
Your military heritage is something you can't ever cast aside, Tane.
If you're trying to recruit me for your People's Union organization, you might just as well forget it.
Many of your fellow officers are in it, Tane.
I doubt if there are very many.
All right. A few. But we don't want everyone.
I don't like your outfit, Hassingham. It's too exclusive for my taste.
Discriminating is the word.
Fanatical is a better one. Then perhaps fascistic is the best of all.
We are not a political organization.
Well, I still don't like it.
You'll come around, Tane. You'll have to come around.
I'll have to. You're not talking to one of your hirelings, Hassingham.
General Hassingham, we must get back to town before 10.
Mr. Zimmerman, in a moment, Hire. Of course, Tane, we shouldn't argue. Men like ourselves, whose basic interests are so close.
Are they?
Colonel Tane, this is Mr. Hyatt.
Mr. Hyatt?
Why, yes. Nothing unusual about that.
Oh, it was the Mr. I wondered about.
How so?
Are you an executive in the People's Union?
Yes. Why?
I thought all executives were officers in your organization.
Yeah, but I am a kind of officer, Mr. Tane.
What kind?
Security.
Intelligence work?
In a way.
A sort of super policeman?
Sort of.
You see, Tane, we have men of varied abilities in our organization.
Hassingham, we'll be late for the meeting.
Yes, of course. You're right.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Tane, do you ever go shooting in the early evening?
What? Oh, no, of course not.
That's odd.
Why? Why should it be odd that I don't shoot in the early evening?
Last evening someone was shooting on your game preserve.
Well, what of it? It happens all the time. What are you trying to imply, Hyatt?
Why, nothing, sir, but it seems curious that a man who loves to shoot wouldn't be interested in who poached on his own grounds. Good day, sir.
As I walked back across Blossom's farm, across the great expanses of close rabbit turf dotted with dense thickets of bramble, it seemed more and more clear that Hassingham's and Hyatt's questioning of me about the previous night's shooting meant only one thing. They were somehow involved with the man I had killed. And then it suddenly occurred to me that theirs was not a personal interest, but that the People's Union was mixed up in all this. I wished more than ever that I had gone to the police immediately. Ahead of me, a hare suddenly dashed out of a thicket and scampered away across the water.
Stay where you are.
What?
You are a foolish man, Mr. Tane.
What do you want?
You are an amateur. I've intrigued, Mr. Tane. You are no competition for Hassingham.
Are you a friend of Hassingham?
He would like me to be. Or rather, once he would have liked me to be.
Hyatt?
Hyatt needs no one. He is evil unto himself.
You're German.
I was German.
And you mean you're a Nazi?
Ah, the loyal Englishman who never forgets a war.
Perhaps.
I can. You're a bungler. Your English bungling delayed my plans. How stupid to shoot at Von Cleek.
Von Cleek?
Yes. You bungled into killing a man you don't even know. That is terrible luck, my friend.
I'm not your friend.
Nor are you my enemy. Do you know why? Because I don't care about you. I don't care whether you live or die. After we have served each other's purposes.
Who are you?
Mordell. General Mordell. A general without an army. The most useless of all useless things.
Mordell?
I will refresh your memory. I was part of the Nazi general staff. There was a point in the war where some of us, some generals who had put Hitler into power, decided his leadership was no longer useful. He could have led us to victory, but he was leading us to defeat. Worse, to total destruction.
Oh, yes, Mordell. The Nazi general staff.
Correct.
Yes, they said you were dead.
They said all of us who failed to kill Hitler were dead. And it was proved, except for one. For this one. For me.
I want nothing to do with you.
Listen, my dear fellow. 3 former friends killed my family after I failed in the bomb plot. 3 good staff officers. Since then, I've had but one mission in life. To kill them. I waited. 2 are gone. The last one was due to land here on a plane until...
You on a plane? In this field?
There's a strip a plane can land on, about 100 yards west of us. When Click was helping to install one of the radio beacons they'll use to guide the plane in, when you shot him and upset everything. Now I want your help.
It's ridiculous.
When you shot from Click and threw his body in the sump, you committed yourself to helping me.
I'll have nothing to do with you or your plan.
A murderer never has a choice. It was an accident which has become a murder.
How do you know that I won't kill you?
Because you need me. No matter how vehemently you protest the association. Because I can help you.
What could you possibly do to help me?
I can get evidence against Hassingham and Hyatt which can destroy them.
On what basis?
The People's Union.
The People's Union? That's a farce. No one cares about it.
No. It is more powerful than you think. Exposing it can set you free. The courier who will arrive on the plane in this field, he will carry a portfolio.
And what will be in the portfolio?
Information you might use to convict these men of sedition.
Sedition? Are you implying a fascist coup?
Why, that's ridiculous in these days. Precisely why it is possible.
And assuming what you say that is true.
It is true.
Well, assuming that I believe that. Assuming the People's Union think I stumbled onto something last night and may either testify against me or kill me.
They will, unless you help me.
What must I do? Kill the courier?
No, I will do that. You will merely be my accomplice.
We will return to Escape and today's story, A Rough Shoot, in just a moment. Edmund O'Brien stars as yours truly, Johnny Dollar, radio's most expensive, exciting insurance sleuth. Johnny Dollar writes up the fanciest expense accounts, and while he's doing it, he takes his listeners along on thrilling, unusual insurance investigations of arson, robbery, and murder. Every Wednesday night, listen in over CBS Radio as Johnny Dollar totes up his swindle sheet while he treats you to action and mystery galore. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, will be in action later tonight on most of these same stations. And now, back to Escape.
Nothing to eat for me, Cecil.
All right.
Such an understanding wife you have, Payne. Never forces her husband to do anything he does not want to do.
No.
I had a wife once, and children. They killed my family because they couldn't find me. Nothing moves you, does it? Nothing, no compassion for the other.
You created your own monster and it destroyed you. No one made you do it.
Precisely. No one. You're right. I do not seek pity, nor do I give it. The German General Staff created Hitler, and part of the staff eventually changed its mind.
Yeah, falling out of thieves.
Roger.
Don't worry, Mrs. Payne. Your husband and I cannot have a falling out. We are not bound together by loyalty. We have more powerful motivations. I, revenge. Your husband, fear.
Fear and revenge. All your life. Fear and revenge.
Don't you think your good Hassingham and Hyatt function the same way?
Hassingham the fool will come to his senses soon.
Never.
You don't understand the British mind, do you?
I understand the fascist mind. It's getting dark. Shall we go to the field?
Roger?
That's all right, my dear.
What a shame it would be if we were to fail and Hassingham were to succeed. Your wife and children would be left alone.
You're a cruel man.
A vengeful man, as the courier will discover when he lands.
Don't worry, my dear. It will be all right.
Ah, the ex-soldier speaks in all his bravery. Come, Payne.
As we had, for the last 3 nights, we approached the landing strip from the woods. The whole affair seemed fantastic. For 3 nights, Mordell and I had hidden at the north end of the landing strip and waited for the plane to arrive. In spite of myself, I was growing impatient.
Wait. What is it? Come in. They're waiting down in the gully.
Now, then the plane must be due tonight.
Yes, it will be tonight. Come. We may not have much time.
Well, perhaps we don't have time for anything.
We must move the radio beacon.
We can't move both of them. Those men are too close to the south beacon.
But if we move the north beacon, just that one would bring the plane right to us.
Well, if it comes in from the south. But if it comes in from the north, it will stop in front of us.
We must take that chance.
We were close enough to recognize Hyatt's voice. He was talking to the other men. We couldn't catch what they were saying, so we began to make our way slowly from thicket to thicket, pausing, waiting breathlessly to see if we'd been detected. Finally, we came to the radio beacon. It was larger than the wireless set and would require both of us to carry it. We took it and as quietly as possible carried it to the far end of the field, near the woods, set it up on its spiked legs. Then we stepped back into the trees and waited. Mordell pulled something from his pocket.
It won't be long now.
What is it,
An automatic pistol. English make, I prefer them. Didn't you bring one, Tame?
No, of course not.
Of course not? Why, of course not?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't carried one since
the war? Certainly, you couldn't conceivably think of killing anyone except in a war.
Then you really are going to kill that man on the plane?
That has been obvious since our first conversation.
You're determined to kill him?
If he's the man I'm looking for, and I'm certain he is.
The minute he steps off the plane?
Oh, no, I'll wait. He must know it is I, Mordell, who is killing him. I must first remind him of many things.
You must... Mordell.
Yes?
I'm going to turn myself into the police.
By all means. I don't need you any longer.
I can't...
Well, why don't you go? Afraid?
I'll not have any part of this murder.
Going to throw yourself on the mercy of the court?
There is no justice in the courts?
Not if 2 such estimable gentlemen as Hyatt and Hassingham testify against you. You haven't... The plane is coming in, and it's coming in from the south. Now. Lower. He's coming to our beacon. He must. Your last chance, Saint. Coming?
Yes, I'm coming.
You there, in the plane. Hurry, don't stand there. Follow us.
Who is it? Ungracious, is it you?
We can talk in the woods. Jump from the plane.
Here we are.
It's the police. Hurry. Tell the pilot to go now.
I cannot see your face.
Quickly.
Hurry. Get that plane out here. Out.
Fast. All right, follow us. Into the woods. Come. Come back. Stop. Don't breathe. You fool. Be silent, Lux. Silent, Mike.
This way. I think he went to that thicket there. Over this way. Follow me now. Follow me.
Hassingham and the others ran off in the wrong direction. With his gun, Mordell prodded the reluctant Lux deeper into the woods, and then stopped.
It has been 6 years, Lux.
I did what was ordered. I tried to stop it, but everyone who was a friend of yours was suspect. Everyone. It had to be done.
My good friend Lux. My old comrade in arms, Lux. The murder of my family, Lux.
I didn't really do it once, did I? I was only there, Morton.
That's a lie.
It's true. Don't you understand? You had failed. And if we followed your example, if we turned on the Fuhrer also, there wouldn't have been anyone left to prepare.
For what? For defeat? For destruction? What preparation was needed?
No, to prepare for afterwards. Here, look, in this briefcase, a list of names, men all over the world, still ready to help. Strong men, important men. Here, Mordell, look, Mordell, in the briefcase.
Step back, then. Give it to me, Lux.
Let me see it.
Stay.
I helped you. I have helped my part of the bargain.
It was no bargain at all. You had no choice. Now, Lux, what was this about preparing for afterwards?
Yes, prepare. We had to protect the staff. Hitler himself meant nothing any longer. But we needed time to make plans to protect the staff.
And not your preparations, kid.
That's why you're wrong, Walter, wrong. We did well. If you live in the past to defeat, we are not defeated. Little by little we come back. Little by little we take over important work. Big work.
An illusion. Like the illusion we all had once. The illusion of the defeated.
Are Colonel Hustingham and the art illusions?
That is the same idiot song you sing.
Oh, Bordel. Don't you see? There is no past for us.
No murdered wife. No murdered children, Lux. No past, all forgotten.
It had to be done. I had to go along with the others.
You outdid the others.
You can't. The past, it's over. We all did our duty. Good friend.
Can't do it. Don't try to interfere.
Well, this is England. It's not Nazi Germany.
Silence!
Lux. Bordel, you'll never get out of England alive. The police will...
The argument is over.
No.
For my wife. Bordel. For my daughter, Lux. For my son, Lux.
Up there. To the right, Mister.
Hustingham, he'll kill us. Follow me. Through here.
Down the hollow. Hit, Lux. Leave it. Come on.
I am not going to run. Give me the briefcase, sir. No. I will go. There.
Don't take time to fire back.
I can hardly move.
What else? What else?
I'm hit. Englishman. He danced for me.
The briefcase.
Give it to me. No, let go of the briefcase.
They're in here somewhere. I know I hit one of them. Well, I'll be careful.
Here he is. It's Bordel.
I don't know. But find the briefcase. Go back to where we found Lux. Oh, I don't know.
I crept quietly to the edge of the woods and then ran as I had never run before. It was raining when I reached the village, and as I walked through the deserted streets toward the familiar blue light that glowed over the entrance of the constabulary, I wondered if the police would believe the incredible story they were about to hear. And then I remembered the briefcase under my arm, with its documents and its proof. Sergeant, my name is Roger Tame. 4 nights ago, I shot a man. You'll find his body in the south.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you A Rough Shoot by Jeffrey Hushold, specially adapted for radio by Arthur Ross and starring Ben Wright. Featured in the cast were John Boehner, Stan Waxman, Mary Lansing, Howard McNear, Larry Dobkin, and Lou Krugman. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens.
Escape with us to New Guinea, and the story of a man who is to die at the hands of Papuan cannibals. The second, his watch stops ticking, as Hugh Kay tells it in his unusual tale, The Silent Horror.
The meanest crooks who deliberately trap teenagers into a life of crime. Those are target for tomorrow night when Agent Shepard and the FBI in Peace and War tackle first offense specialists in a manhunt packed with action as well as human interest. Don't miss CBS Radio's startling FBI in Peace and War program tomorrow evening on most of these same stations for thrilling insight into rackets and racket smashing. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Instant Ralston and regular Ralston, the hot whole wheat cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are in a scientist's laboratory on the planet Venus, bound hand and foot by Prince Baccarati. As they struggle to free themselves, a vacuum pump steadily draws air from a chamber containing a powerful chemical.
Keep struggling, Happy. Got to cut off that pump before the chemical explodes. The cord is digging into my wrist. How much time have we got? It'll blow up when the indicator reaches 1/100th of an atmosphere pressure. 100? Smoking rockets is almost that right now, and the ropes are so tight I can hardly move.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Cyclone in Outer Space. Time is running out, Space Patrollers. Yes, time is running out in the sensational Name the Planet contest. The contest that's giving away a gigantic rocket clubhouse and 1,750 other swell prizes. So, hurry. Get Mom or Dad to go with you to your Weatherbird shoe store for your free space coin album. Now, inside the album are 3 silver-colored space coins and your Name the Planet contest entry blank. The blank for entering your name for Planet X. And that name can win you the Great Rocket Clubhouse with a huge motor truck to pull it and $1,500 cash. Think of it. A 10,000-pound, 35-foot-long spaceship on wheels with built-in bunks, lights, lockers, and even cooking equipment. Think of rolling along in your own rocket clubhouse, or think of rolling along on a Schwinn varsity bicycle. 750 Schwinn varsity bicycles will be given away as second prizes. Schwinn, the streamlined lightweight bike, America's favorite. It's got 3-speed gear shift, it's got 2-wheel handbrakes, and all the other famous Schwinn features. And you have 750 chances to win a Schwinn. And you know something else? You've got 1,000 chances to win a powerful autosonic rifle, an outer space helmet, a Space Patrol emergency kit, or a swell stainless steel Space Patrol wristwatch. So take off right away for your Weatherbird shoe store and get your free space coin album and contest entry blank and enter the Name the Planet contest right away today. Remember, the place to go is your Weatherbird shoe store. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, Cyclone in Outer Space. In all the universe, there is no place more full of tension and fear than in the castle of Prince Baccarati on Planet X. With his plans for conquest of the solar system thwarted at every turn by Commander Corey of the Space Patrol, His Highness has been taking out his rage and frustration on his men. And most uneasy of all is Baccarati's chief henchman, Dr. Malengro, whom the Prince holds responsible for the repeated failure of his schemes for aggression. For a week now, Malengro has feigned illness rather than endure the constant abuse heaped upon him by the evil Prince. But today, he has asked for an audience with His Highness in the tower room of a huge castle.
Well, Dr. Malengro. So you still live here at the castle, do you? I was beginning to think you had gone to Mercury to teach folk dancing or some other art worthy of your great ability.
Humble apologies, Your Highness. I have been ill.
So I have been told.
In spite of my illness, I have not been idle. In fact, I have some very interesting information.
I'll be the judge of that. Just give me the facts.
Your Highness, I have discovered the perfect weapon. A weapon that will not only make it impossible for the Space Patrol to reach Planet X, but also will enable you to strike any planet of the solar system at any time, any place.
Just what is this weapon?
It is called a torque ray.
Torque ray? What's that?
It is a ray that literally twists matter apart, molecule by molecule, atom by atom. The gun that fires it hurls a ring of turbulent force through space at the speed of light. Spaceships can be destroyed the instant they're sighted. One blast of the torque ray could tear a hole in an atmosphere shell. A barrage could level the largest city in the universe in a few seconds. And this force is like a tornado or a cyclone moving with the velocity of light.
Splendid. How soon can you get these torque ray machines into production?
That is difficult to say, sir.
I want 24 of them immediately. Pull my top engineers off of all the other jobs if necessary and get into production.
But, Your Highness, I don't know how to build a torque ray machine. I know nothing of the principle involved.
Then what have you been blathering about for the last 5 minutes?
I'm trying to explain, Your Highness. You see, this device was invented years ago by a scientist named Cyrus Cadet. I read about it in a 45-year-old issue of the United Planets Science Bulletin.
What? Well, the Space Patrol must have the torque ray.
No, Excellency. The weapon was outlawed shortly after it was secretly demonstrated on Saturn's moon number 2. Because government officials decided that such a powerful weapon was not needed to preserve the peace and might tempt lawless persons to try to get the secret.
Do you mean to tell me that there is no torque ray in existence?
The authorities asked Kennebec to destroy his working model.
Where is this Kennebec now? Is he still alive?
I have already checked on that matter, Excellency. He is in retirement on Venus.
Get him. We'll force him to build some torque ray gun.
May I suggest caution, Your Highness? Sometimes it is difficult to force men of integrity to betray their governments.
Then we'll trick Kennebec. I'll do it myself. I'll make him think he's working for the government.
But, sire, he may have heard of you.
You don't think I'm stupid enough to go to him as Prince Baccarati, do you? Get me all the information you can, Malengo. I'm blasting off for Venus.
Meantime, in his central office on the man-made planet Terra, Commander Corey carefully examines an instrument from the control panel of a space cargo ship. Standing beside the commander are Cadet Happy and Major Robertson, the chief security officer.
This is the worst piece of workmanship I've seen in years. How did it ever pass inspection, Robbie?
Well, same old story, Commander. Built well enough to pass the test, and after a few weeks, the elements begin to deteriorate.
Well, I'd hate to depend on that cosmic ray detector in any ship I was flying.
Right now, hundreds of passenger ships and freighters are out in space with instruments just as bad, or even worse. Have you been able to trace the manufacturer of this piece of junk, Robbie?
Yes, sir. It's a bootleg outfit on Saturn. They're not only guilty of selling inferior equipment, but they're infringing on patent rights.
Oh, stealing from inventors, huh?
There's a clear case of infringement on this cosmic ray detector, sir. Cyrus Kennebec holds the patent.
Kennebec?
You know him, Commander?
Yes. Kennebec has given away dozens of inventions just to make space travel safe. He could be a rich man today if he'd patented all of his inventions. This is one case I'm going to take up personally. I'm going to see Kennebec and persuade him to bring suit.
In a small but well-equipped laboratory on the planet Venus, Cyrus Kennebec intently goes about his experiments, apparently oblivious to the presence of a large, important-looking man who has introduced himself as Pasco Zarini, head of an interplanetary contracting concern.
Mr. Kennebec, it's very difficult to talk with that vacuum pump going. Could we step into the next room for a moment?
Just a moment. I'll cut it off.
Ah, that's better.
Let's complete this experiment later. Mr. Zarini, I've discovered a fascinating chemical compound. That's right here in this container.
Yes. Now about this matter.
Under ordinary atmospheric pressure, you heat it, freeze it, throw it around, and it's perfectly harmless. But in partial vacuum, it becomes a powerful explosive. The critical point is 1/100th of an atmosphere.
You mean you got some of that stuff in that vacuum chamber?
Oh, yes, a microscopic quantity. Not enough to be dangerous. Let's sit down on that desk, Mr. Zarini. Here's my cane.
It's hanging on the test tube rack.
Yes, of course. I hurt my ankle the other day. Confounded juice. Now, Mr. Zarini?
How about your torque ray gun?
Oh, That whole thing, it was outlawed years ago.
Yes, I know. But as I told you, the United Planets government has given me a contract to build a new spaceport on Neptune. We've got to level several square miles of land. With atomic earth-moving equipment, it would be very expensive. Your torque ray could do it quickly and cheaply. It would save the government hundreds of thousands of space credits.
But the torque ray is outlawed.
Yes. But I can straighten that out. I've already talked to several officials high up in the United Planets government. In fact, I have here an authorization from the Assistant Secretary General. If you'll just look at that, Mr. Kennebec.
Well, in that case, that's different.
How long will it take you to draw up the plans and specifications for the pilot model?
Since you're working for the government and the machine isn't outlawed anymore, I guess I can tell you. I never did destroy the plans or the demonstration model.
Huh? Oh, you mean there's a torque ray gun already in existence?
Yes. Of course, it's been disassembled. Nobody but me could put it together.
How long will it take you to assemble it?
About 6 hours if I would.
Could I pick it up tomorrow?
Don't see why not.
Splendid. Naturally, I wouldn't think of turning such a powerful machine over to an experienced man. I'd like to pay you for your services as operator of the torque ray, if you can get away from that.
It's been years since I've been on Neptune, Mr. Zarina. I'll be glad to go.
The next day, a very tired old inventor sits in his laboratory listening to Commander Corey and Cadet Happy.
Now, take a look at that, Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Recognize that, sir?
It's my circuit, all right, but the workmanship, the material. It's a crime, a downright crime.
Exactly. Will you cooperate with us in closing down these crooked manufacturers?
I don't mind their using my design, if only they did a good job. This thing could result in serious injury, even loss of life. Certainly I'll help you, Commander.
I knew I could count on you.
You'll have to wait a week or so, however. I'm helping construct that new spaceport on Neptune.
Your spaceport?
Yes, the new government project.
What government project?
Excuse me, Commander. That's probably the contractor now. Where's that confounded cane? Oh,
what does he mean, sir? A new government spaceport.
He's probably got his planets mixed. Some new construction going on. Mercury City port, but nothing on Neptune.
I'm right here, Mr. Zerini. Everything's all right.
Splendid, Mr. Kennebec.
Commander, the voice, it sounds just...
See this rain machine of yours.
Baccarati.
Don't move. Either of you. Kennebec makes a good shield.
What's going on here?
Let go of him, Baccarati.
I said don't move, Corey. Oh.
Let go of me.
All right, Kennebec. Do as I say, or I'll use this paralyzer ray on you. That's right. You might as well know it now. I'm taking you and your torque ray to Planetech.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, can't I? First, I'm going to make sure that Corey doesn't follow us. Kennebec, get that big container of your new chemical and put it in the vacuum chamber. Go on, get moving before Corey and the cadet revive.
What are you going to do?
Just do what I tell you, or you'll get what they're going to get. I'm going to tie them up, just in case that ray charge wears off. By the time this lab blows up, I'll be on my way to Planetech.
Baccarati, listen to me. You can't do this.
Open the chamber. Put the chemical in. Hurry, Kennebec, or do I have to get rough?
No.
Now, close the chamber tight.
Do you realize what you're doing?
Of course. I'll turn on the pump. Low speed. When that indicator shows 100 of an atmosphere, the lab will blow up.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. They're coming to Earth. Coins from outer space. Terrific space coins, big as $50, with pictures of planets on them in glowing space colors. Gang, space coins are so good looking, you'll want to collect them and trade them with all your pals. And space coins are free. Yes, sir, you get one in every new package of good hot roastin'. And you can get 3 more special silver-colored space coins and a swell album when you see your Weatherbird shoe dealer to enter the Name the Planet contest. So start building up your collection of those super space coins now and be the first in your gang to have a whole album full. Just get Mom or Dad to go with you to your Weatherbird shoe dealer. Tell the Weatherbird man you want your free coin album and 3 special space coins. If he's run out of albums, ask him to get you one. And remember, inside that album, you'll also find your Name the Planet contest entry blank. And inside of every new package of good hot Ralston, you'll find another free space coin. That's the new hot Ralston package with a picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the front. But hurry, no time to waste. Get Hot Ralston and see your Weatherbird shoe dealer today. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, Cyclone in Outer Space. Prince Baccarati has rendered Commander Corey and Cadet Happy helpless with a paralyzer ray, and as a further precaution, has securely bound their hands and feet. Forcing the inventor, Cyrus Kennebec, to help him, Baccarati has loaded a powerful torque ray gun in a spaceship and has blasted off for Planet X. Right now, Buzz and Happy are lying on the floor of Kennebec's laboratory on the planet Venus as a vacuum pump gradually lowers the pressure in the chamber containing an explosive chemical.
The paralyzer ray is wearing off, sir, but I'm getting tied up tight.
Keep struggling, Happy. You've got to get loose before that chemical explodes.
I wonder how much time we've got.
Baccarati's been gone half an hour. The rate that indicator's moving, we've got just about 2 minutes before the lab blows up.
2 minutes? Oh, I can slide back up against that metal table leg. I'd have to cut the cords against the edge.
Oh, Happy, the cord around your feet. It's working loose.
Yeah, but my hands I'm worried about.
Never mind them. Stand up. Get on your feet quickly.
Yes, sir. I can.
Roll over on your stomach and draw your knees up. It'll be easier that way. That's it. Hop over to the lab table where Kennebec's cane is. See it?
Yes, sir.
Now, don't try to walk. Hop. All right, now turn around and grab the cane. Careful, don't drop it.
I've got it, sir.
Okay, now flip the cane around so the curved end is up, right behind your head.
It doesn't slip out of my fingers.
If it does, it's the last slip you'll ever make. It's getting it, Hap. Work it up a little higher. Fine.
Wow, look at that indicator. It's nearly the 100th of an atmosphere.
Now hop over to the switch in the wall.
And hook the cane around the switch handle.
Right. Now turn around. Feel around with the cane. I'll try to guide you. You've almost got it. Now stand on tiptoe. That's it. You've hooked the handle. Now hold the cane tight and shuffle forward a few inches. Good boy.
A few more strokes of that pump. Well, Baccarati sure did us a favor by not letting Kennebec take his cane.
We're not in it here yet. Until we open that valve and let air into the vacuum chamber. Too close to the critical point.
I wonder what kind of chemical is in there.
We'll worry about that later. See anything to cut these cords with?
Yes, sir. There's a knife in the lab bench.
Get it, huh?
Yes, sir. I've got the knife, sir.
All right, huh? You stand back to back and you cut the cords in my wrist. And we'll blast off after Baccarati.
With all rockets blasting, Baccarati heads for Planet X, carefully avoiding the regular space lanes between the planetary orbits. Cyrus Kennebec slumps miserably in his seat, staring vacantly ahead.
Cheer up, Kennebec. In a few hours, we'll be on Planet X, the future capital of the universe.
I'll never forget myself, never.
What are you talking about?
I helped to destroy one of my best friends, and that young man.
I would have taken care of them sooner or later anyway, with your torch ray.
Why didn't I wreck that machine when I was ordered 2 years ago?
It wouldn't have made any difference, Kennebec. I'd have made you build another one.
You couldn't have forced me to do that.
Other men have said that to me. Men younger and stronger and braver than you. And I've seen them on their knees before me begging for mercy.
Far behind Prince Baccarati's ship, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy head the Terrified toward Planet X. One by one, the orbits of the inner planets are crossed. Then even the vaster stretches between the outer planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. Finally, even Pluto lies behind them.
Nothing in the viewscope yet, sir, except Planet X.
I don't expect to overtake Baccarati until we get very close to Planet X. No way of telling what vector he took, but we'll see him when he comes into land.
Suppose he's already landed, sir.
I don't think he has. He didn't dare take the shortcut that we did. He didn't have that much of a head start.
Commander, I think you're right. Look at the viewscope. A spaceship, 10 degrees high.
Private cruiser. Headed right for Canada.
Probably Baccarati, all right.
It's overtaken right now. Kennebec comes aboard. We'll keep on his tail till we see where he's going to land.
Pretty near there, Kennebec. In a few hours, you'll be at work, making more torque rays.
I told you, Baccarati. You can't force me to help you.
These folks. Let me at the control panel.
You're being followed, Baccarati.
Space patrol ship, of course. It's terrifying.
It's Commander Corey. He's escaped from the lab.
You double-crossed me. You fixed the vacuum pump so it would cut off before the explosion.
I wish I could.
Shut up!
You might as well surrender, Baccarati. He's gaining on us. He can board us without trouble. You'd better surrender.
Never. Got your torque ray in the cargo hatch. Get back and plug in the power line.
You're going to fire the torque ray at him?
Why not? And don't try to stop me around. Wait a minute. The torque gun is inside the ship. It would wreck us, too. I got it. Land at the first opportunity. I'll lug the torque gun outside the ship, plug in the power line, and then blast Corey before he can land it.
No, you can't do that.
Get your hand off of me. Try that again, and you'll be really sorry. I got it. I'll set us down in the Black Valley. The mist will give us some protection and a chance to set out the torque gun before Corey finds us.
He isn't going to the castle after all. He's going to land.
Maybe he has trouble with his ship. He seems to be heading for that big peak rising up above the mist.
The one with the crater on it.
Probably an extinct volcano.
Uh-oh. He's disappeared.
Put on the infrared viewscope, being happy. He's dived into the mist.
He's playing it smart. If he knows that valley, he might be hard to find.
We'll just keep looking.
Skillfully, Prince Baccarati maneuvers his ship to put the mountain peak between him and Buzz Corey's ship. Then he plunges into the mist-covered valley. A moment later, he lands the ship on the valley floor. At gunpoint, the elderly inventor is forced to help Baccarati remove the torque gun from the cargo hold and set it up on a sturdy tripod just outside the spaceship. Seconds later, Baccarati has connected a power line from the gun to the ship's electric power supply. And as the Terra 5 circles overhead, Baccarati stands ready, peering up into the swirling mist.
Just stand over there and don't move, Kennebec. I must congratulate you on this torque gun. Beautifully balanced. A child could operate it.
Baccarati, listen to me. Don't fire that gun.
Shut up! Cut it out. We'll be coming in for landing very soon. Then here, slight pressure on the firing button, and I'll be rid of Commander Corey for good. There he is, coming right toward us. All right, Corey. This is it. You're right in the...
No, you don't!
Stop it, Kennebec! You idiot! You knocked the gun over!
You missed Corey. You missed him. He's coming in for the landing.
What's the noise?
You blasted the top off the crater.
The volcano. It's erupting. All right, Kennebec. This is what you get for meddling.
Commander, the volcano's erupting. The whole top of the peak blew off. Wow, look at that lava pour down.
We'll have to settle our business with Baccarati in a hurry. Stand by to land.
Standing by. Commander, Baccarati's blasting off.
We're landing anyway. Look down there. He's left Kennebec behind.
Why, that dirty space rat.
We're going to have to move fast. Have cut rocket. Full repeller ray. Quick now. Open the inner hatch.
Oh, feel that heat.
Down the ladder, quick.
Hey, where's Kennebec? The smoke is so thick.
Over there. He's collapsed.
Yeah, I see him now. Commander, the hot lava, it's tearing up the trees and pushing rocks along.
You can admire the scenery later. Give me a hand with Kennebec.
Yes, sir.
Quick now, head back to the ship and watch your step. If we go down, we won't get up again.
You're going to be all right, Mr. Kennebec. shortcut.
Just relax. That gun will never be used again.
No, hey, it's back there on Planet X, buried under 100 feet of lava.
But Baccarati, what about Baccarati?
He got away. Did you have your torque gun designed?
Yes, but they won't do him any good. They're mostly in coke.
That's a break.
Gentlemen, I hope you'll forgive an old man for being a coward back at the lab. You risked your lives to save me, and...
Mr. Kennebec, I got a good look at that torque gun just before the lava covered it. It wasn't a coward that knocked that thing over.
I'll say not. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, we're even.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
This is Commander Corey calling all space patrollers.
Commander Corey to all space patrollers. I have two important messages for you. One, start right away today to build your collection of exciting space coins. Take it from me, space coins are really sharp-looking, big as a $50, made of husky plastic. Blue coins, black coins, gold ones, too, all with swell pictures of planets on them. You get a space coin free in every new package of good hot Ralston, either instant or regular. Message number 2. Hurry and ask Mother or Dad to go with you to your Weatherbird shoe store, because waiting for you free at your Weatherbird shoe store are special silver-colored space coins to add to your collection, plus a handsome space coin album to keep them in, plus your Name the Planet contest entry blank. But you'll have to act fast. Get a new package of hot Ralston, either instant or regular, with a free space coin inside. And go to your Weatherbird shoe dealer for more coins and your Name the Planet contest entry blank. At your Weatherbird shoe dealer. See him today, and good luck.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are flying over Crater Valley on Planet X when they sight Prince Baccarati's ship on the ground. Quickly landing, they see the prince struggling with a giant native and rush to the rescue.
It's Baccarati, all right, sir. He's beating an old man. Trying to drag him into the ship. Let's get him. All right, Baccarati, break it up. I'll get his ray gun, sir.
Let go, Corey.
Hey, Commander, the old man's unconscious. Baccarati knocked him out.
You're getting pretty brave, aren't you, Baccarati? Beating up an old man all by yourself.
Not quite by myself. Give them the Lango. Use your terrorizer ray. You got them both, Lango. This is the last time Corey will meddle in the affairs of Planet X.
Be sure to join us again next week for the thrilling story Under the Sea of Planet X, when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Len Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Bela Kovach, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles with the story of one of the fastest planes in the world, and a word from the man who test flies it, Joe Lynch. It's North American's Air Force F-86B Sabre Jet Interceptor. Speed, well over 700 miles per hour. Wingspan is 37 feet. Length, 41. Cruising range, 500 miles. Now, by special tape recording made at international airports, a well-known test pilot of the Sabre, Joe Lynch.
The D is a one-man interceptor, so when you fly it, you're really on your own. That's why I see to it that I'm in good condition all the time. And one way to stay in good condition is by eating a good breakfast cereal, like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They're just packed full of energy, and they taste swell. I think you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puff or flake, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from Joe Lynch, George Welch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.